The D-Line, Disruption Network's weekly football podcast. With your host, Chicken.
I will say, one of the greatest games I've seen this year.
Caleb.
There was no takeaways from that game. I mean, the takeaways were that we should have changed the channel earlier in the night.
And Phil.
Just fucking tit for tat, going back and forth, just a battle.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the D-Line.
Hey,
up, gentlemen, what up? What up?
We made it another year, huh?
We did.
3
we
years.
did.
Yeah.
3 years strong, boys. 3 years strong.
Welcome back. Hope everybody's belly was full come Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh my God, I forgot all about the food, dude. There was so much food at Greg's.
What did you guys do for food? I did tacos. I went to a taco bar for the game.
I honestly, I made two different types of chicken: taco chicken,
Okay.
and pulled chicken, of course, and then buffalo chicken.
Okay.
My daughter got Student of the Month back in November, so they gave us a free coupon for a pizza place. So
You fucking held on to that for the right day.
We did. I did.
Hey, no idiot over at the Silbreth household. Holy fuck.
I picked up a free pizza. Then I made two types of mac and cheese as well, regular, and then my famous jalapeno and bacon mac and cheese.
Okay.
And then the wife made a fruit tray.
Jesus, what's the leftover situation like?
So then Big
Right?
Johnny,
Tell me about it.
Big Johnny brings two, not half sheets, two full sheets of tomato pie from Roma's.
No.
Greg made
Nothing. Greg didn't make a goddamn thing.
meatballs with hoagie rolls and Becky's famous nacho dip. And then Lance brought veggie and fruit trays.
And Lance body slammed all of them when he put them out.
We had cracked chicken that
Ooh.
Woody Mark made.
All right.
Dutchy boy, he made some cracked chicken. Jade fried up all kinds of stuff in the air fryer. We had everything from wings to poppers.
Nice.
You know, you got to have the fried
Did he do bacon?
No bacon.
No candy bacon this time?
No candy bacon. We had mac and cheese with
Do you-
ham.
Do you believe
Oh,
in the
that's
air
right. I
fryer?
heard Lenny made ham. That's or mac and cheese. I heard.
Do you believe in the air fryer?
I do.
I just got one for Christmas.
I do.
And I haven't taken it out of the box. Don't tell my girlfriend's mom.
I got one. There's probably a picture of me at Bosco's right now because they had it mismarked. It was $149.99.
Yeah.
And they marked it $14.99.
Oh, you robbed him.
I got that bitch.
Got him.
$14.99.
Got him.
Did you really?
Yep, I was that guy. I was
Hey,
Karen.
listen.
I was Karen on the.
Seems like a hell of a deal. You should have gotten like 5. Why didn't you get like 5 of them? But like, yeah, I'll buy them all. This would be
right?
great.
Hook a brother up,
Yeah.
man.
You buy 10 for. You got 10 for 1 there.
Yo, silly. You need an air fryer? Got a text like
it was,
that.
It was great. It was right before Christmas, and we seen it, right? And then, like, 5 minutes later, we're walking by the pizza place, and they're like, we'll stuff a whole pizza box with all leftover pizza we got for $10. I'm like, deal. So I got food and some of the cookies.
It was a horseshoe up your ass that day, huh?
$25.
I'm like,
You got an air fryer and a bunch of old pizza for $25 all day.
All day.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, we. I went to a taco bar and so I was in Miami,
Right,
as you guys
right,
know.
yeah.
We had talked about that, and it was. So we go to this taco
there
bar.
was something going on down there.
Yeah, a little game was going on actually. Do you know what the craziest part is? I saw 2 celebrities basically at the end of the day. One was Ronnie from Jersey Shore, all right, and the other.
Moderate.
Yeah, exactly. But the other was NBA players. Didn't see any NFL guys or anything like that.
Right.
Maybe they just weren't staying in the area that we were in or whatever. We were in Brickell, which is kind of about 20 minutes from the stadium. So we went to a taco bar for the game, and they had a $40 drink package, all you can drink for the game. Now, gentlemen, here's the problem, though. When you do these drink packages, unless you're in a premium place, you're getting the low end. You're getting the well,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
which you're probably assuming.
They'll give you a double.
With the day before, we were drinking like premium liquor. We went to Cipriani, which is a Michelin star restaurant and stuff. So like the next morning after Cipriani and that night, I felt great. I felt like $1 million. I was like ready to go out and run a marathon the next morning. I will tell you something. The hangover after the Super Bowl was something to be spoken about. It was horrible.
Well drink bad. Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was like you really realize like what it means to drink well and to not drink to drink the normal stuff.
Like you drink a case of Mad Dog.
Yeah. Oh God. So, but yeah, we were so in Miami. We the night before the Super Bowl, we went down to Wynwood, which is the art district in Miami. Very interesting place. It used to be the place. You know, it used to be a real rough and tough neighborhood. But it's since kind of revitalized itself with a lot of graffiti arts and clothing lines and artists going into that area. So it was really cool. And we went to this place called Coyo Taco. I snuck off and went to the NFL Experience, which is about a block away for a little while.
How was that?
It was good. It was good. It was interesting. I mean, it's what you expect from a huge festival of NFL events. It's the throwing things you could kick. I actually kicked a field goal from like 25 yards.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You made it?
I was getting an autograph at times.
Did you
Yeah.
sign?
Yeah,
Did you
exactly.
sign?
Yeah.
All right.
Ryan Pace is on the phone currently.
Cody Parkey just went shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I bet you can't even hit the goalpost.
So very, very cool experience. The fan experience. That was pretty much for Super Bowl related things, to be honest with you. That was kind of the extent of what we did Super Bowl wise. And then for the game, we went to Tacology, it's called. It's a taco bar. So yeah, it was. I mean, I'll tell you something. Miami is it's.
I feel like I'd be a
Crazy.
little scared to do an all you can drink at a taco bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
So,
like.
I think I'd rather do an all-you-can-taco at a drink bar.
It's like all you can eat and all you can drink, and then you got to see how long you can hold it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was wondering why there were so many stalls in the bathroom. I was like, most bathrooms you see now, it's like 2 stalls and two
You're in the ladies'
urinals.
room.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. No kidding. It was like a wall of shitters, and I was like, oh, now about halftime, I knew exactly why why there was a wall of shitters. So
I gotta go a whole like talking about shitters. We went camping up in Stillwater, and there's like this shitter, right?
yeah,
And I gotta say, it's like this big vacuum. It's like this like you
I feel
should
like your intestines are gonna get sucked out.
Well, it's like this big empty hole, and it's not an outhouse. It's just this big
Like your
empty
mom,
hole.
right?
It feels like it just sucks everything in, and you're like, it's like some kind of like.
It feels so clean.
I've seen that before. It was between your mom's legs. Oh my God, we're here all week. Fuck. To think this is the last show, for the season.
Zach, good news still. Zach said he totally forgot about the show, but he's just finishing up. He'll be here soon.
You said that from last week too.
Yeah, right?
Oh boy.
It was a crazy experience to be in the city. You know, a gentleman that really kind of for the Super Bowl really kind of blew my mind. Traveling down and being in the city. Yeah, saw a lot of 49ers, saw a lot of Kansas City things. And I know obviously there are teams that aren't, local to that area, but every other team was represented. I saw people in Bears gear. I saw people in Eagles gear. For me, it was kind of surprising. I know a lot of people that go to the Super Bowl are kind of pish-posh, millionaires that have the money to spend $6,000 on a shitty nosebleed ticket. And, don't really have fandom like we do, for our teams and stuff like that. But it was very interesting. I've never been a person who likes to go to a game. Like if the Jets are... Say it's the Bears and Bills playing, I would never wear a Jets jersey to the game. But I noticed a lot of that down there. It's really a lot of Eagles fans.
Well, yeah, you're there. So. I mean, it's an NFL community event.
Yeah.
You're there to represent.
It really is. That's really what I got from it, John. You're absolutely right.
I'm sure everybody, just like the NFL draft, everybody's there. Gives somebody a little rib,
Yeah.
but they know.
When we were down in Tampa, it was kind of funny you say that because my friend John Patterson and I went down there, and he's a Minnesota Vikings fan. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. And we were sporting our uniforms and like our jerseys, and it was kind of cool because we weren't the only ones. I mean, you've seen tons of Steelers and like to Arizona. Literally, it was like 2. I felt so bad.
I always forget who the Steelers played in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I did too. But it was kind of cool, like in like going to the NFL experience, just seeing like all the different fans around there. And did you see any celebrities there? Like anybody doing?
I didn't take too much note to it, to the people there. I was just more looking for the event, see what was kind of going on, checking the booths out and stuff like that. So Chicken, to be honest with you, I think I saw the NFL Network's production from afar, but I didn't really kind of delve too close to that. So that was pretty much what I saw athlete wise.
That's cool because, like I said, when I went there, they had you go in there and you could do autograph booths and stuff. And
I was also there at 11 o'clock at night.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nobody's there. Everybody's out fucking drinking.
Yeah,
Well,
we
that's
were at Hard Rock
yeah.
at that time.
Yeah, no kidding. So, and that was one of the interesting. I was telling the guys before the show, but I want everybody to hear this too. That I saw 2 groups of famous people. One was Ronnie from Jersey Shore.
You just told us that a few minutes ago.
Okay, did I tell you about Ben Simmons?
No.
Well,
The basketball player from the 76ers. We were standing in the lobby of the hotel, and the entire 76ers basketball team walked by.
Oh.
And they were there playing the Heat, and also Ben Simmons was at the game too. He's dating Kendall Jenner from the Jenner clan, so he was at the Super Bowl. So yeah,
That's
that
pretty
was
cool.
that was pretty much the extent. Now the other thing you have to remember too, that a lot of people don't realize with celebrities, and we can all attest to this. Once they take that jersey off, sometimes they blend. You know, like you could, if I saw Peyton Manning, I know who Peyton Manning was. But like, you know, if like to be honest with you, even if I saw like if I saw Mitchell Trubisky on the street, it would be John Silbreth to me.
Well,
you know, I'd walk by and be like, oh, there's John.
Was it
you know,
2 years ago?
You'd high five him and say, "Sil."
2 years ago at Lucan's, I'm center, and Lawrence Taylor was there.
Yeah.
And when I first looked, I'm like, you glance over, you're like, okay, hey, holy shit, that's Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, who's Lawrence Taylor? I'm like, you know who Joe Montana is, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, he's like Joe Montana of the defense.
All right, yeah.
In fact, he knocked Joe Montana out.
Right.
But like, he was just sitting there chilling, and like, if people didn't notice it, like, you really wouldn't know it was him.
And a lot of athletes like it that way too.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
absolutely.
that. So,
Absolutely.
and you have your suspicions. Like we went to this place called 1-800-LUCKY. It's like an outdoor
club?
kind of Asian market, and they had a nightclub on one side of it. And we walked up to the bar, and I'm telling you something. This was the biggest man I've ever seen in my entire life. He stood up off the bar stool, and I'm 6'3", 220. Like I'm no little guy, you know, like you, Silbreth. You know, this guy hopped off the stool, and I'm not kidding you. It's the biggest person I've ever seen. So you like assume he was probably somebody famous, you know, somebody who played in the NFL or something like that. But like, it's very hard to identify people sometimes, and that's the way a lot of pro athletes like it. So,
And to be fair, Silbert's only short where it matters.
yeah, oh, love it. So. But yeah, I mean, you know, enough about the festivities. Let's talk about Andy Reid finally getting over the hump, gentlemen.
Yes, you know, I'm a little bummed. I had all set aside my Derek Thomas jersey.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been waiting all these years to like finally wear a Derek Thomas jersey for winning the Super Bowl, and I had it all laid out, and I just forgot to wear it. And I wanted to wear it for the show, pay out homage to one of the greatest. I feel one of the greatest linebackers to play the game. Mm-hmm. But also, like, you know, the Chiefs deserved this win.
Yeah, man, they were fucking good.
And like, I gotta say, like, I really enjoyed the Super Bowl. I thought it was a great game. I don't put it anywhere near like one of those epic games.
No.
But it was a fun game to watch.
Yes, it was.
It was a good one.
Referees stayed right out of it.
Yeah,
I like
loved
that.
it.
Yup.
John Perry was, I believe, was the ref. He's a good one. I mean, he's probably the you know the dude.
I mean,
of refs. So.
just 2 delay of game calls on the 49ers that they just totally let go.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't affect the game, I don't feel. So I'm okay with everything that, as far as the referees went, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I got really no complaints about the game at all.
Me neither. I mean, I thought it was a great event. I really did think it was a great event. I thought it was handled perfectly by the NFL, as you said, with the referees. I mean, as much as it's not part of the game, it is for some people. I thought the halftime show was good. I didn't hate it. I thought it was good.
Those are my two crushes growing up.
Yeah.
J-Lo and Shakira. Shakira probably number 1, and J-Lo like a quick number 2.
Yeah.
And,
a quick number 2?
A quick number 2. That's all it took me. Was a quick.
You shat on her?
I thought it was entertaining. I thought, you know, it kept the crowd into it.
I didn't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what the funny? My buddy texted me the next morning after the Super Bowl. And he goes, you know what the crazy thing is? It's like the weather. Everybody thinks they're a meteorologist when you ask them about it, and everybody critiques the Super Bowl like it's like they were involved in making it. You know, they're like, oh, that halftime show, I really thought it was a little bit too revealing. And I really didn't like it. It's like it was a great event, and they sounded awesome.
I got up to make another plate. Really, I caught only like a minute.
Sure,
halftime show,
and that's fine. Yeah, great. You know, I'm okay with it.
I'm still having dreams when Shakira kind of started tonguing the microphone. But then also I was like, I knew that was going to be meme gold.
Oh yeah, I see. That's the thing. I didn't see it till it came out on a meme like 10 minutes later.
30 seconds it was created, and 10 minutes later you saw it.
It was, dude. Seriously, while the game was on, Johnny goes, check this out on his phone, and it's a meme of it with the goat already.
And they started off the game with a Jason Momoa commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
Mimosa.
That's what he turned into.
So you know what I forgot to mention you guys too? The guy who sings Mi Gente, the Colombian artist who was part of the halftime show. I saw him the day before doing a clothing autograph signing at a mall.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was like I was like most of the time I kind of am in tune with who people are, but man, I was like, that's cool. Great. I don't care. You know, like it was somebody that nothing. So, but I mean, as far as the game,
well,
Sammy Watkins. Somebody found Sammy Watkins. The soul of Sammy Watkins was on the field, and he was good. He played really well. So
yeah, he left Sherman.
I was going to say he torched Sherman. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! If you watch some of the, I was watching some of the replays of just focusing on them, the two of them, and like how many times he burned him. He man, Sherman had a bad day.
See, I just gotta a lot of the second half was like kind of in slow motion for me.
Yeah. the best part of the game.
All right. So the third quarter, just take that out. That was like the worst
Yeah.
third quarter Patrick Mahomes ever played.
Yeah.
And the first half it may have only been 10-10, but it was exciting. It was a chess match.
And
it
the
was
one thing-
really cool.
That was really cool is that Patrick Mahomes could play like crap, like one of his worst games as a pro, and still come out with a win. You know, and that just shows like how good of coaching they have there.
Right.
You know, like Andy Reid. Andy Reid didn't outthink himself.
He did. Well, here's a reason why they had such a bad third quarter. Because they kept trying to impose their will on a defense that strong, and it didn't work. It wasn't until
But I don't find that a bad thing.
San Fran got into, we're up by 10, it's the fourth quarter, let's play a little softer. That's when KC's will worked because San Fran changed the way they played defense.
Well, in Kansas City, I mean, we've seen it. Like,
If San Fran kept the pressure and the corners tight, I think we'd have a different game. But
I
they
think
didn't.
Kansas City changed up the way they played too. I mean,
They still went deep. They still had deep bombs. Things were wide open. Why? Because San Fran was playing soft, playing off guys. It's that simple. You don't play the prevent defense prevents you from winning. That's it.
Yeah, correct.
I hate prevent defense.
I agree.
I'm not saying they went full out prevent, but they weren't blitzing. D-line was still getting pressure. D-line still did their thing.
San Fran really doesn't blitz. I mean, their whole thing is their front line gets enough pressure. The problem is when
Joe Buck can say, it looks like they're playing soft, but he's terrible. But he noticed it.
That's what you do to a defense like that. You run right at them. You try to play right at their strength. You tire them down. Like they kept the game. I mean, the only team that really could come back on the 49ers would be the Kansas City Chiefs like that. Because the 49ers defense is that good that most teams won't be able to come back. Yeah. But I feel like the Chiefs kind of lulled them into, okay, this is how they're going to play. And then the Chiefs flipped the script.
I just felt in the first half, KC dink and dunked their way down the field and kept San Fran off. I mean, that's why KC had the time clock had them by 9 minutes.
Yeah, I believe it was about 9. Yeah,
really. So they kept them off the field in the first half,
which is incredible.
Whereas in the third quarter, which I won by the way, $100. They kept trying the deep ball and weren't getting any time and forcing bad passes. That 2 interceptions third quarter. I mean,
yeah.
I was like, why aren't you adjusting? You didn't really have to change anything up from the first half.
Yeah.
But they kept at it. Prove me wrong, but San Fran is the one that made the adjustment, and it didn't work.
But they also got going. To your point exactly, too, John. They also, in that last 6-13 when they scored the 3 touchdowns, they got going to what we had talked about last week on the show. Those quick drives. Those explosive drives there at the end. Those were like those, but that was like it's going to be, to me, like, I think it's scary to say this, but to me, I don't like Pat Mahomes is just going to get better. And that team's just going to get better. And like, it's scary to think if they played a full 4 quarters, like what there could be.
And here's the thing: we're saying Pat Mahomes played bad, right? So he's 27,
For him, yes.
286
For
yards,
him.
2 TDs, 2 interceptions, and a 29 yards rushing and rushing TD.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good stat line.
It is. It's a very good stat line, but it was, but to think like if he wasn't lackadaisical for the first half, I thought he was very lackadaisical. I thought the moment caught up with him a little bit in the first half.
You're saying
that's what I thought.
You forget how much. See, and that's why when you're saying the game plan for Kansas City, we're dinking and dunking. You kind of have to do that against that front four.
Oh yeah, yes,
absolutely.
That's what I'm like, this is a great game plan. I loved it.
The first 3 quarters, that when you're rushing 4 guys, they're balls out. But now they get tired come third quarter, fourth quarter.
That's what I'm getting at. Is also maybe fatigue took in with the ball control. Maybe fatigue kicked in late fourth quarter.
And that's why you take your deep shots, because now that their pass rush is slowed down a little bit, he's got time to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And with Mahomes chasing Mahomes all over the field, those boys are getting tired. Those 300-pounders, they're getting tired. So I agree. That's the time to take your shots.
Yeah, it's the lack of panic, and I think that it just goes to show the veteran leadership of Andy Reid. They just never let those guys panic. In Pat Mahomes, this is year 2. This is not an 18-year veteran, or a 15-year veteran. This is year 2, and the ability of Andy Reid to slow the game down for him. And I'll tell you something, fucking 5 teams.
You said slow the game down? I think
No. Like to slow it down in his head, to not overwhelm him in his head, and to really, it's just incredible to see. And I'll tell you something.
He coaches to the player's strength.
Exactly.
Fact.
And I'll tell you something. There's 6 fucking teams, and I'm gonna put my New York Jets as the 7th team that fucking have missed on Eric Bieniemy. I listened to him after the game. He gave a press conference, interview after the game. Teams are missing on that guy. Yeah. They are swinging and missing. And I know the tutelage and the heirs of, Andy Reid. You have Doug Peterson, who was successful. Matt Nagy. Yeah.
Don't forget he played under, I believe it was Norv Turner.
Yeah. It's. Like Bieniemy should be a head coach in my mind. His ability to work with this young quarterback, it's been incredible for me personally. It's really been awesome.
He used to play with the Chargers, right?
Bieniemy?
Eric Bieniemy.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I really don't know much about him. But.
He used to play with the. Don't you remember Boomer going, Eric, sleep with the Bieniemy?
Oh, he was fucking.
Oh yeah, he's a little kid.
Yeah,
but like he played for. He played for the Chargers back when they had. I believe it was Norv Turner was their coach.
Okay,
and Schottenheimer. I believe Schottenheimer was there too.
Gotcha.
So those are 2 great coaches, and like you said, Doug Peterson, Andy Reid. This guy should have been hired. I think before the
incredible
judge over.
Get rid of this fucking. Sorry if your boy's listening, by the way. Get rid of this fucking guy that Adam Gase, who's snoring on the sidelines. Give me a proven winner. Eric Bieniemy is good. Won the Super Bowl this year, and man, I'd bet them next year.
So nobody hired him.
No,
that'd be saying. So he's staying in Kansas City.
He's staying in Kansas City.
Good for him.
Right. And next year he'll be on the. He'll be the
he's got to be the guy next year. If he's not, I mean, I just don't like. If he's not,
he
then
should be the coach next year for Cleveland.
He must.
I was going to say Arizona.
I swear to God, if he doesn't get hired next year, then this guy must go into these interviews, pull his pants down, and start J-O-ing on the table, because that's the only way he's not getting these jobs then. Because he is just an absolute fucking guru. I think so. But also, too, I really, really like Andy Reid, and I'm really, really happy for him. I mean, that was to see him lift that trophy. You never see the guy smile because he's got that goddamn mustache to block it out. But you actually could see him smile for once, and it was it was really cool to see. That's
Don McNabb years.
He's a good guy of the NFL, man. He's a good guy of the NFL, and he's had so much success. I mean, think he's running back you. He's pumped out countless running backs.
Brian Westbrook,
Chicken, we don't have long enough. We don't have long enough to sit here and fucking name them all.
Sproles.
He's made nothing out of Damian Williams. Damian Williams had 17 carries, 104 yards, a touchdown, 4 catches, 29 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Damian Williams, who? You know what I'm saying? These are guys that this guy has made these players into talent. And to think of what Sammy Watkins hasn't done over the last few years, and to just bring him out of the Super Bowl, to bring the weapon out that he's been holding in his pocket. I mean, and Tyreek Hill is just Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce's Travis Kelce. And this team, the only place this team is going to get worse is they're probably going to lose Chris Jones, their D tackle. But you know what?
He was a big factor. What did he have? 3 defended passes?
Yeah. But now here's the thing, though. We see every year, you can see the guys, certain guys leave the team and go get big contracts elsewhere, but you also see other guys want to come play there.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of defensive players didn't want to come play for Kansas City because they felt like their defense sucks. And but they don't realize that, a couple extra pieces. Now, I don't know if T. Suggs is going to stick around another year.
Probably not.
I think this is retirement.
But now
this is a great glory run. Fuck, I'll take it.
Right?
Oh, shit.
Now all of a sudden you're saying, hey, anybody want to come play for the defending champs?
Yeah, yeah. You're right. It's a recruiting tool, obviously, and and think about this too. If you're signing a long-term deal, okay, and this is things that guys think about everything. Guys think about how close they can get a house to the stadium. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? Think about this. Pat Mahomes. What did I just say? This is year 2.
See, he's
going to get locked up. Pat Mahomes is going to make $200 million. He's going to be the first $200 million player.
I got a great trade for Kansas City. I know I got to bring it back to Chicago.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
I think they should trade Danny Trevathan to Kansas City. Danny Trevathan,
maybe.
Kansas City. I think that might be something because
he's a free agent, so we got to sign him first to trade him.
Well, then let him go.
Yeah.
But I think that's somebody Kansas City should look at because Chicago I don't think is going to re-sign him, and Kansas City needs to solidify that linebacking core, which is why I wish they kind of got a little bit younger of a T. Suggs. To really see them solidify that defense would be really nice. But they need that. I think they should be looking now at a good replacement at that position.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams won't have. I don't think either of these teams will have. We'll call it Rams syndrome, where the Rams went to the Super Bowl and just came back and were. Bleh.
No, I fully
I think they're
expect
both there, man.
San Fran playoffs, KC, maybe Super Bowl number 2.
Honest to God, though, and we have if we're gonna sing the Kansas City's praise, I mean, we can sing both teams' praises because they made the Super Bowl. I mean, like Kyle Shanahan, like hats off to you. I mean, I really love this guy. I really love what he's done too. So, I mean, to take Jimmy Garoppolo and the other point I want to make too about the 2 interceptions that both the quarterbacks had, each one of them had. Both of them had one bad interception where they threw it right to the other team, and each of them had a deflected pass interception. Right. So that line,
Well, no, hang on. Mahomes' deflected pass interception, it was well behind him, so that was still an errant throw.
Yeah, good point. I know
if
one of
it didn't
Garoppolo's
get tipped,
wasn't. Yeah.
it wouldn't have gotten intercepted. That I'll agree with.
Yeah.
But it was a bad
It was a bad pass still, nonetheless.
Are we a little surprised at some of the tight ends? I mean, Kelsey did 6 receptions for 43 yards. He got a touchdown. But Kittle's only 4 receptions for 36 yards. I thought these guys would be a bigger factor in the game.
Especially Kittle.
I'm not. Those numbers aren't. Like,
Kelsey had some key
mind-blowing
catches,
to me.
but was it me or were they none of their 8-yard receptions that they threw? Did they all just try to go east-west and not north-south?
Yeah.
Was it just me screaming at the fucking television? It's like, turn around and run!
Yeah.
That drove me nuts. There's several times that the guys just like hop backwards and you're like, all you had to do. Kelsey, he was running. You're a big dude. Lower your shoulder, get that first down. Instead, he's trying doing like some kind of move and got a loss of down. He didn't pick up the first down, but you had it.
Yeah.
Lower your shoulder and take it. But
that's what San Fran defense was giving them. They were giving them just shy, dink and dunk your way down.
How about Kansas City, like right off the bat, going for the fake field goal?
Yeah.
Wow. I was like, just get the points.
Yeah.
No, they got it, and they made me look like an idiot. But
I mean, it's crazy too to think like
not fake field goal. They went for it.
No, then they fake it. They faked it in the big for.
No,
that wasn't. Yeah, I just told you a little.
This is another game
They
you're
did that.
watching?
They did that spin move thing from the 1 or 2 yard line there.
No. I'm talking before that. It was like 4th down, and it was like
No, they went for it.
yeah, they went for it,
Yeah.
but
They didn't know there was no fake. You drink a lot.
I smoke a lot.
What Super Bowl were you watching?
I will tell
Super
you.
Bowl, yeah.
I will tell you, gentlemen. Took a ride out to before I left to cash a couple bet slips I had at Turning Stone, and I made a couple bets on the game. I bet 20
Gatorade.
No, I actually bet I was all over.
Orange, by the way.
Kyle Juszczyk. I had Kyle Juszczyk over 10.5 receiving yards, and I had him
Which you got?
scoring a touchdown.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
At plus 650.
Oh, so you got that in the first quarter?
Yeah, I was shitting myself when I saw it. Like he caught a 15-yard touchdown pass, and then he lost. And then he proceeded. Then I'm sitting there on the fucking grindstone when he catches 2 more balls for negative yards. I'm like, don't do it. I want the yardage too. So yeah, it was a nice little payout. So I won about Kyle Juszczyk won me about $300 or $400.
Nice.
So I'll take that.
Well, that was the thing. The over/under on Mahomes rushing yards was 29 and
Yes,
a half.
that was big.
29 and a half to 32 was the range.
Correct.
And he had 45 yards
Yeah,
up until
yeah. To the end of the game.
the final series. And then he took 3 knees in a row.
And he was.
Got him to 29.
Yeah.
So many people lost so much
It was
money.
the under. That was a huge move in Vegas. I heard there was. I think it was like $20 to $30 million moved with that.
No kidding.
Yeah, like shifted with that. So that's huge. And you have to like the thing too was like normally, as you guys know, when a quarterback takes a knee, it's just 2-3 yards back and take the knee. But he was trying to run the clock.
Right, so he had to
So
drop
he was
back.
like dropping back
7 yards,
and then take
7 yards.
I didn't realize that one until I saw just Twitter exploding after the game. Just exploding after the game. I also listen. Mahomes was great. Not my MVP. Damian Williams was my MVP.
Now, hang on. No.
John's thought about this one.
I originally thought the same as you, but then I thought of this question. Take any other running back in the league, put him in that spot. take any other quarterback. Do you think Mitch Trubisky is winning that game?
No. So that means the most valuable player is Pat Mahomes.
Yes.
But that also, see, here's my little argument against that, John, is the fact that we could make that same deduction at the start of the game.
Right. No,
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just saying.
You know what Pat Mahomes and I said it before, and like he reminds me of Russell Wilson. And you remember a couple years ago when Russell Wilson was coming back in the Super Bowl.
He's the only other quarterback I'd put in that spot.
Exactly. And it
the only other
actually work your way out of it. Because remember,
He had a big run.
He threw some garbage in that one Super Bowl against New England. And just to get them back to where they were took like basically a miracle.
Yeah.
But that's because Russell Wilson has a cool head and can organize and drive, maneuver down the way down the field.
He's the only other quarterback that could have won that game that I feel.
I agree too. I absolutely agree because they pull horseshoes out of their ass sometimes. And
you could have put any second string running back in the league, and they would have gotten 108 yards.
Yeah. I put Reed Mozart in the backfield for Kansas City, probably doing the same thing. I agree. I can agree with that. Yeah. So
that's how I justified it to myself.
Did you say Mozart?
Mozart. Yeah.
They said Mozart.
What?
Yeah. Classical. little classical singer there. Yeah. A little classical singer reference there.
But I like this game. I'm like, I can't say, they kicked, the 49ers ass. You can't say like one team was outmatched at all. Like sometimes we get these wicked lopsided Super Bowls, like the Giants versus the Baltimore Ravens that one year.
Remember what was the one when they stamped the ball over Peyton Manning's head against Seattle? Remember that one, Denver? I was in college from it. I made a lot of money running my book
Seattle.
on that. Yeah. Denver, Seattle. That final score was like 50-7.
I used to call that the Smoke Bowl.
Yeah.
Like,
Good one.
Did you already say the 49ers Chargers one from back in the 90s?
Oh,
that was like 55 to fucking 3. I mean, that was just brutal.
What was that, -2?
Right.
all the Bills games except for the Giants,
Right.
But it's you're like, how'd you get here and get destroyed like this?
Right.
And like you look so good coming in. Like these teams should be kind of evenly matched, and I feel like this year and not. Last year sucked. That Super Bowl was just garbage.
No, it was horrible.
But that Philly New England game was a great game. That was awesome. And it was you've seen the best of the best in the league. I feel right there. Baltimore was pretty good. They were stellar, but
it was a great game. Great game all around.
I feel like, man, you
28-3.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to say.
I don't want to go there. I didn't want to go down this road with Kyle Shanahan because I really do love the job he's done and these blown leads. I'm glad that didn't catch much steam online. We didn't have to hear about it too much about blew a lead. Okay, we get it. Like you don't think Kyle Shanahan knows? You don't think the demons are just crawling down his throat?
Now let's over-examine Kyle Shanahan.
Okay, let's do it.
First half, up in the booth, you got 1:29 left, 2 timeouts. I understand coming out running the ball. Let's see how it happens. It ended up being like an 8-yard run.
Yeah. Call a TO.
No, you don't want to give KC the ball back. I understand that. It's a 10-10 game. You're getting the ball back at the beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah.
I didn't.
A little bit too conservative, huh?
For me, to me, that means he took his foot off the gas.
It's also, deviating, like with what you're saying, John, too, is deviating from the way you've played all season. Right. Why, just because you got to the Super Bowl, do you have to play with your fucking asshole tighter than you can't fit a fucking toothpick in it?
Because you have like about 2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah.
So like these guys are psychoanalyzing everything. Oh, they've seen this, they've seen that, so we can't give them this. Let's try this. And I feel like I feel like Andy Reid, to kind of like go along with your thing with Shanahan. That was Andy Reid.
Yeah.
For many years.
Right.
He get to the big game.
Played himself out of the game.
Yeah. He didn't know what to do. Like a game against New England in the Super Bowl with Philly. And all of a sudden, like, you're down 2-minute drill. And it's like they lost their freaking mind. Like McNabb's just like lollygagging around. I'm like, what is he doing? Get to the line.
Right.
And you just see him like what are you getting? You should already have your plays up. And I just feel like, as a young coach playing in a big spotlight like that, it's got to be tough.
I'm not going to overharp on it because I understand it. You're getting the ball back, so you don't need to score. And you know what? It ended up working out. They got 10 more points in the third quarter than KC. So fine. But it was just, to me, it was like you just stopped KC, you forced them to punt. Take that momentum with you. They didn't have. That's what killed me. Every punt, every kickoff, the average starting point was like the 20-yard line. So I can't even say, maybe field position played a part in it, but it was just weird when you see they show up to the booth and John Lynch is going, call timeout, and they didn't. They just let it tick. So
I forgot what play it was. Somebody got railed. Somebody got hit really, really. I think it was Mahomes, maybe.
Sherman fucked somebody up. I'll give him that. He really hit somebody hard. I can't remember who, but
I think Mahomes took a shot when he was running it, but it was a no call. And I was glad that it was a no call.
Oh yeah, yes, you're right. And no, he got hit hard, but it was a no call because he was
running.
He was running.
Yeah.
He still didn't hit the ground yet. He didn't get hit in the head. It was a great no call.
And he got blasted. It was like right in the beginning of the game, I believe.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I don't remember when, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking
he got
about.
lambasted. And I'm like, oh, here comes the flags. And they didn't. I'm like, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like right then you could tell, okay, they're not going to be cheap shots. They're not going but those, to both credit of the teams, those are two well-coached teams.
And as far as I'm concerned, that was offensive pass interference on George Kittle.
Yeah.
And that was a Kansas City touchdown. While his foot may have gone out of bounds, you couldn't tell where the ball was. I couldn't. I tried.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell where it was. What?
Which touchdown?
The one that put him in the lead.
Yeah.
At the end of the game in the fourth quarter.
That was it was
their second touchdown. The one to put him up to 24. It was super close. I couldn't have,
Yeah. You don't want to sit there and have to make that call. I would agree.
That referee was like, son of a bitch, I got to do this.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it up to the booth.
Yeah. Interesting too, with we were talking about with kind of out coaching and things like that. I was reading an article before the game, and it was each team has a press release the day before the Super Bowl, and it basically details the last practice, how they're going to handle things. So it was bad weather the day before the Super Bowl. It was really rainy and thunderstorms in Miami, and the 49ers did end up going to the stadium the day before. Kansas City did not. Mm-hmm. Andy Reid sent them home. They were staying in a resort and spend time with your family. And then they were also talking about, and this is something you don't really you don't consider because we're the fan and we're the consumer and we're taking this in, but halftime is double the time.
Right.
It was, as you guys know, and as I know, being an athlete, we're all creatures of habit. So your routine is your routine. How you go about things, how you get ready before you get. So usually halftime's 15 minutes. It was 29 in the Super Bowl.
Right. All commercial breaks are longer.
So
yeah.
So basically, what Kyle Shanahan did was he didn't allow the guys when they left the field. He didn't not allow them in the locker room, but he had a stretching session for 13 minutes or 14 minutes, exactly to the 15-minute mark, and then they went into the locker room.
All right.
Which I think is again getting you, again, athletes are creatures of habit. I think it gets you a little bit out, and that's the one thing where I wish the Super Bowl was just like a 1:00 game on a Sunday in the middle of October. That kind of style of hey, it's just another game. But it'll never obviously be like that. But it's just you think about how much you change things. You glorify what it is. And yes, you are playing in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that old hole. You are playing in the Super Bowl, but at the same time, it's sometimes you just routine and in the way these guys act. Sometimes it throws guys off. It really does.
It seemed like the extended commercial breaks, the extended halftime. It really up in the third quarter. It didn't favor KC, but it seemed to favor them late in the game.
I almost wonder if their halftime routine might have taken them out of the game a little bit into the third quarter. Kansas City,
dude, Mahomes underthrows like crazy, just errant throws. I can't say overthrows, but errant throws and underthrows. He was really throwing under. I mean, that one replay where it hit the ground.
Yeah. I
don't argue that. So they called it back. And then the next play, I believe he ran it for an insane amount. So he came out stale.
Yeah.
In the third.
Yeah.
But I think that just shows how good this guy really is.
Oh, he adjusted.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he adjusted. I agree with you.
So many guys, and that, again, the Russell Wilson comparison, so many guys would have been down on themselves.
Yeah.
And they would have completely sunk deep and completely played garbage. I just, being a Bears fan, Jay Cutler, he would have been complete garbage the whole rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to keep firing like that and do what he needed to do with his legs,
Yeah.
and just scrambling around and creating.
He's incredible, man. He's incredible. We're
keeping his head up,
like-
keeping his team into it. You know what I mean? Because your team feeds off of your quarterback's posture and what he's able to do. And when you got a guy that's still stuck, shit in the bed, and he's coming out there, still competing, and just kind of works his way out of it.
Yeah.
To me, that shows that he's even better than I thought.
Yeah.
Because it could have been so easy. For
He's special, man.
Yeah.
He's special. He's a really special talent, and and it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy to think. It's that it goes back to that mindset of we could have this guy. He was an undersized
keep
quarterback.
his team into it.
He's a really. What are you doing?
It screwed up on me.
Oh, okay.
So
good job.
It unmuted the feeds.
Nice.
But yeah, I actually Silberth, it sounds like you hit some money on Square. So let's talk about our betting wins here. So you hit the third quarter.
Yeah. I got the regular and the reverse.
There you are. Ooh, okay.
75 plus 25. Bing.
There you are. There you are. Do you win anything, Chicken?
I did not. I didn't gamble.
Yeah, I'll throw money on the squares and stuff like that. I love the squares.
$5 squares. I bought 2. That was my only gambling for the whole week.
Yeah.
I didn't actually be approached, so I didn't search it out.
Well, nobody likes to approach an honorary guy.
I mean,
Oh man.
I said,
Grumpy bastard.
they wouldn't let me bet with a cheeseburger.
Ah!
Here, can you take a cheeseburger?
But yeah, I the game was awesome. Miami was really cool to be there in the wave of things. It was just interesting.
Next
man.
year's in Tampa. I'm really thinking about going.
Considering going, yeah. I mean, it's just it was a really cool event.
It's a great vibe too.
Yeah, it really different. Like just an excitement. I saw this guy at a nightclub with a retro Ronnie Lott jersey, probably like a $400 jersey, just absolutely dripping chain, like huge, like size of a palm. This chain was just. It's an exciting event for a lot of people, and
It's like a Comic-Con for football fans.
yeah. You know what else I saw a lot of in Miami? Eagles fans because of Andy Reid.
Oh,
A lot, and I started talking.
They were all sociable online from what I could read, and they were all wishing him well and blah, blah, blah.
Oh no! Everybody loves Andy Reid in Philly. It was kind of Andy Reid's divorce in Philadelphia was similar to that of Todd Bowles with the Jets. It's you don't hate the guy. Just wasn't. The message was stale. We've talked about that before with head coaches. It's not that he absolutely bombed, or was a terrible coach. Obviously, Andy Reid wasn't terrible in Philly, but that message just got stale.
yeah, but the reason why Andy Reid was ushered out was the whole Chip Kelly experiment. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That they thought, oh yeah, he's going to revolutionize.
Right, yeah, mix it up. Yeah, no, I see.
And it was absolutely garbage.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Well, Andy Reid couldn't win the big game. Big game. I honestly feel if he lost in the AFC Championship game again this year, he may have been on the way out.
But you know how many NFC championships they were in?
I know it's
and
tough.
didn't make it
It's
to the
tough
Super
to
Bowl.
think about that. The dude gets you to the AFC Championship, but he can't win.
Yeah.
But he can't win. What good is it?
Mm-hmm.
Your goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Kind of Bill O'Brien-esque. Bill O'Brien.
Hey, no, dude gets us to the playoffs. All right, let's fucking promote him to GM.
Yeah, I know. How about that? Fucking kill me. But no, Reid. It's just it's crazy. I want to paint this picture for you guys. Okay, Andy Reid just won.
Now he's fucking painting.
Just won the Super Bowl. Yes, Mozart. I'm singing and I'm painting.
Who says we're not?
Andy Reid. Oh, John.
Refill.
Yeah, Andy Reid just won the Super Bowl. The man who took over for him, as you just said, Chicken. You're absolutely right. I've got it here.
Oh, okay.
Andy, as you just mentioned, Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is barely clinging on to a give me job at UCLA right now. He has failed in San Francisco. Okay, he failed at 2 other college experiences as a coordinator, and now he's barely hanging out at UCLA. And Andy Reid just won the Super Bowl. And the Eagles got it right with Doug. Okay, no problem. They've got it right. They've corrected their flaws. But how crazy is that?
Who was an Andy Reid disciple? Doug Peterson came.
Doug Peterson, yeah, Dougie.
Came over from Kansas City. I like both those coaches. I like their coaching tree that Andy Reid's starting. I think Eric Bieniemy is going to get a job.
Has to.
If not this year, next year. there's still probably a possibility of a late firing or something of that. People.
No, this year's pretty tied up, and a lot of time. To be honest with you, Chicken, I don't think at this point. Thank you, Sil. I don't think at this point that the Chiefs would give permission to interview Bieniemy now. After the Super Bowl, I don't think they would.
That's it. No, coaching staffs are set.
So, I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, think about the two coordinators in this game that went mano a mano in this game. Robert Saleh and Eric Bieniemy didn't get head coaching jobs in the NFL.
Well, that's who I feel worse for, Saleh.
Yeah.
I mean, he coached a hell of a game up until the end, man.
I like Bieniemy. Okay, and we see Matt Nagy go year under Andy Reid as offensive coordinator. I don't even think he was a full year, was he? And then year before that was Doug Peterson. And they go off and get jobs, and it's that sexy pick. Get that nice, but it's like the Belichick rule too. Like how many of Belichick's offensive coordinator leave, then the next year they get a new one, then they go off and become a coach.
Frank Reich got two years with Philly, right?
I'm sorry?
Frank Reich got 2 years?
I believe he was there for 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I think Bieniemy, I think it's good for Kansas City to keep him another year. And I think next year, if they could pull it off the same or even close to what they did, you're looking at it.
He's gone. Yeah, dude, seriously,
he's got to go.
Teams are kicking themselves in the ass right now.
He'll look. Where he'll look real good is in Jacksonville
or San Diego.
He'll look real good. No, Anthony got that extension.
By the way, he just got an extension today. Yeah,
fucking kill me.
Not today, but this week.
Next year, if they shit the bed again.
Yeah, but they wouldn't guarantee the money, and then
I think Eric Bieniemy, because he played in San Diego.
I like Jacksonville. Oh, Houston. Ooh, Houston.
No, I mean, the GM going to fire the head coach in Houston?
Hang on, no, so the president comes in and says, "Listen, poo."
Yeah. What was you know who the guy who's not talked about in Kansas City? Do you know who their D coordinator is? Spagnuolo. Steve Spagnuolo, another guy who got a chance as a head coach, but found his reclamation as a coordinator. And I think he had his reclamation as a coordinator because
he had a few chances, didn't he? He played in New Orleans, or no, not New Orleans.
No, he was the head coach for the Rams.
Yes.
In the transfer from St. Louis, he was still the head coach in St. Louis.
Was he over in the Giants?
Jeff Fisher, he was with the Giants. Yeah, he was the D coordinator for a long time with the Giants. Great coordinator. I mean, young enough to be a guy that can go back and be a coordinator again. So good for him too. Hats off to him because he had a real tough few years with bad teams. So just a cool story, man. I mean, you can't feel bad. I mean, I do want to find Andy Reid had a great statement after the game about the trophy and his wife. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, he plowed his wife all night. That's the way I took it.
With the trophy.
Right. Just the tip.
Yeah, he made a comment about I didn't really sleep last night, but I didn't spend it with the trophy. Well, I did. I spent it with my trophy wife. One of those type of things. Andy Reid's a good guy, man. He's just lost his son a few years ago to tough circumstances and stuff, and hats off to him, man. This is one of those cool story Super Bowls, and I'm happy for the 49ers and I'm happy for the Chiefs.
Yeah, this is one of those ones. I kind of look back at going back as a Bears fan, the Lovie Smith or Dungy Super Bowl, and I always respected both of those guys. Yeah. I feel like they're good quality coaches, and it always surprised me Dungy never got back into coaching.
The loss of his son.
Oh right,
when his son killed himself. I think that really, really, really hit him.
And I'm really surprised we haven't seen Lovie come back into the NFL.
Oh, he's in college.
He's in college.
He's doing college. I get it, but
he loves it at Illinois. He loves it, man.
He's
eating it up.
But he's doing terrible.
Yeah, well,
he's on the hot seat.
The powerhouse of Illinois football.
Dude, back in my day, they were always top 15. Yeah. Back when they only used to do a top fucking 20.
Were they wearing leather helmets at the time?
No.
But I'm saying, him coming back as a D coordinator, I would take Lovie Smith as a D coordinator all day long.
Yeah, I don't understand that. The Tampa 2 is still relevant.
Did you see who just got? Did you see a new?
I kind of disagree.
Did you see what D coordinator is now at Arizona State?
The way the offense is now, that's circling back.
The offense is
the Tampa 2 is now 100% relevant with the running game coming back.
Yeah, but you also got this insane passing game now. Kansas City Chiefs would destroy a Tampa 2. The problem is with Lovie Smith, he couldn't get out of the Tampa 2.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even when he was in Tampa, like he couldn't get out of the Tampa too, so that way teams knew how to.
Oh yeah,
Go
no,
against it.
I agree, but it's again NFL circular.
I feel
It's
like a lot
coming
of these
back around.
teams, a lot of these defenses are going to have to be more hybrids.
Whereas the Tampa 2 will now be ahead of the curve.
Ooh, okay.
I feel like they need to be more hybrids. You know, like hybrid type of. You know, you can't just be a 3-4. You can't just be a Tampa 2 type of
I
defense.
play to the situation. So now, D coordinator. Did you hear who just got hired as a college D coordinator at Arizona State under Herm Edwards?
No.
The great Cincinnati Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis
No way.
is now the co-defensive coordinator at Arizona State. Do you know who he's sharing co-defensive coordinator titles with? Antonio Pierce, former linebacker for the New York Giants. Yeah, he's building a hell of a staff there at Arizona State. So I mean, it's a great. I mean, listen, if I'm Marvin Lewis, and my NFL time is probably done now that I didn't get the Dallas job, I will go right to Phoenix and I will lay it up and lay it in at Arizona State for a nice $1 million paycheck. I don't
He
care.
was. That's the thing. He was a hell of a defensive coordinator in the NFL.
really was,
I'm not going to argue that a bit.
Yeah.
That fucking defense was scary as shit. Hopefully, he can continue that in college. Pat Shurmur looking at a college head coaching job now. So
I know he took the job in Denver. Shermer's the OC in Denver.
hang on. I just saw today he was looking. He was
Maybe he has sensed is he
favorite for a head coach.
Washington State, maybe after Mike Leach left. One thing. Well, still, you looked that up. I do want to mention go back to Super Bowl for one more thing, and I didn't really because I was in a bar, couldn't pay too close attention to the commercials. Being loud, the sound was on, but hats off to WeatherTech. $6 million they paid for their Super Bowl ad, and it was all about the owner's dog who passed away, who had cancer. And passed away, and they've raised so much money for the University of Wisconsin Medical Center. I thought it was one of the best commercials I've ever seen talking about Scout. So
He is the leading candidate for the recently vacant Michigan State job.
yes, Mark D'Antoni just retired. That's right. Yeah,
Well, you brought up the commercials, and you can't talk about the Super Bowl without talking about the commercials.
sure.
And like I alluded to earlier, when they started off the game with that Jason Momoa commercial,
Mimosa.
I thought that was great. I laughed my ass off.
Dude, it was hilarious.
I can't contrip too much to the commercials beyond the Scout one. I couldn't see much.
I'm 50-50 on the commercials because I always got up to get food. But that one, I am so happy I saw. I mean, he walks in, I go, he just took off his shoe. He just dropped 6 inches. First, it was, a fucking, the Chris Bix double take. You went like this, and you're like, he just dropped 6 inches. All right, let's see how this pans out. And then he rips an arm off. I'm like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. He gets down to his fucking bald head, and then it was when they come back from the spot. Can anybody here officially tell me what they were selling in that ad? Because I don't remember.
I don't know, but it made a great meme for San Francisco 49ers.
But then the fucking bar at the end, he's like, come on,
great.
help me.
It was great.
That was hilarious.
I laughed so hard at that commercial. It's so much so I forget some of the other commercials now that we I know the one that you were talking about. That was really cool. I thought that was a
the WeatherTech commercial. I thought that was awesome. I mean, such a that's really fucking cool, and the amount of money they raise, and I dealing with this, like not dealing with it, but on a personal, my boss, my current boss, his dog is going through cancer treatment now too. And this is an expensive process, man.
For a dog, I would imagine.
Yeah,
so.
it's a very expensive process. I mean, it's a dog, and you have to have a dog to know what it's, to know that feeling, I guess. But
if you love it, you'll take care of it.
Exactly. And like for him to take out, a $6 million ad, he could have sat there and blown WeatherTech out of the water and said, "Oh, WeatherTech, buy WeatherTech." No, he made it a point to talk about education and talk about the University of Wisconsin and the medical center there and the veterinarian clinics and stuff like that. And that's really cool. And you know what was cool to me to see too? Granted, I'm in Miami. Well, it wasn't in the great, it wasn't in the pish posh, the Cipriani of Miami or anything. The bar we were at, I watched, including my boss who I was with in Miami. I watched probably close to a dozen people immediately take out their phones. And I was kind of interested to see, and I'm not kidding you, at least probably half of them were making donations to that cause. I thought that was really cool. If we could only come together as a country like that on a lot of issues. I thought, that commercial really was cool for me. And to be honest with you, that commercial meant so much to me to the fact that I probably will buy WeatherTech at some point for my car. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds maybe a little bit pathetic, but like, honest to God, it really meant a lot to me, that commercial. So that was the one I paid attention to. That was my one commercial. So, but
they had the Charlie Day and Bud Light, and when he had the stain on his shirt the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember other commercials.
Did they do a good Clydesdale one this year?
No.
They didn't.
Not that I know.
I didn't see any Clydesdale one.
That's always been like that's a staple. That's a staple. Come on. I don't love that. So
I can't remember Super Bowl. I'm sorry. The Momoa one. Is that it? Momoa?
Momoa, yeah.
All right.
we had mimosas at the Super Bowl.
Here's some mimosas.
I had a Utica Club at the Super Bowl.
Numero uno Utica Club.
I drank one.
Yeah. I did not. I had quite a few margaritas, right? And I paid for it the next day. So, now, gentlemen, just let's touch on just a couple little notes from the NFL, I guess, over the past week and the start of the excitement this weekend, actually, of a new football season. So, you guys all know how I feel about these god awful games that they play in London.
I seen that, Caleb.
I put that in there on purpose. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is fucking highlight material.
The Jaguars are going to play 2 consecutive weeks in London.
Which I don't see how that's fair.
I don't either. As a fan, I'd be so mad. They better be getting discount tickets.
And those are 2 home games that you're missing.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
That's not fair.
As
a season ticket holder, this has got to suck.
Fuck that. This is fucking so stupid. The economy of Jacksonville, Florida is already not the greatest, okay? Not hating on Jacksonville too much here. It's not Miami, okay? It's not New York. It's not Boston, okay? It's not the greatest. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull 2 games. Thanks, Shavad Khan, you fucking idiot. We're going to pull 2 games, 2 home games, revenue-generating games from fans in Jacksonville. Yes, Jacksonville's fan base is not Buffalo. They're not at the Ralph every week, okay? But at the same fucking time, we're going to pull 2 home games so we can go and play on a fucking soccer field that is all fucking torn up. What do you think they're going to do after they play 1 game on that, and then the next week they play another game on it, and it's all fucking torn up? These guys are opening themselves up for injury. Why? So we can sit in the fucking so these fucking idiots over there can sit in the fucking stands with a jersey from every other team in the NFL besides the 2 that are playing. They don't give a fuck about you, Jacksonville. They don't give a fuck about you. So Shavad Khan is purely doing this as a money-making venture and wants to move the team there, and I hope the fucking NFL puts an end to it. This is an absolute fucking crime.
I couldn't believe that, not only do they get 1, they're usually over there every year, Jacksonville, for some weird reason. Well, now we know why. But it's the fact that they get 2. And you telling me that now it's 2 weeks in a row, they're playing
back to back.
I just found that out just now. That's insane. I can't believe. And then let me guess, because they're 2 home games in a row, they're going to spend a week or 2 on the road after that.
Well, they'll probably fly back to LA.
Right.
From London.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's just so frustrating. The part that pisses me off is that there's such a huge market in London and in Europe and in England for soccer. People love soccer there, okay? They worship soccer. They live, eat, and breathe it like we do football here, okay? They don't live, eat, and breathe football. I don't care what you say, what you try to fucking tell me. The games are not on in conducive times for them to really watch them. It's just like soccer. I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning to watch a soccer match. And that's me, who I don't mind watching soccer.
Even if it's Manchester United?
Fuck! I don't care! I don't care if the fucking Patriots are going to play Manchester United. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no shit. The athletes would probably fucking win, too, okay, with the Patriots, all right? I'm so fucking sick of this shit, all right? Stop trying to expand the game. Take 1 game to Mexico City a year. We get the hype. Take it to Monday Night Football. 1 game. 1 game in Mexico City. Good with it, okay?
How about this? All right. Let's 1 game in Canada, 1 game in Mexico City.
1 game in Canada.
1 game in London. There's your 3.
Great. Don't make it the Jets, though, any of them. Fuck that.
Well, you're going to get 1, so.
Well, I just don't understand how they consider that fair doing it to Jacksonville. 2 weeks in a row.
Because they asked for it.
hang on,
They
I'm gonna
fucking,
say-
they're little cucks. They asked for it.
They are cucks. That was funny. They asked for it. Then now, normally teams won't step up to do it, but everybody has to do it.
I don't see what Jacksonville getting out of it.
It's got to be some kind of money.
International marketing, I guess. Oh, why? So they can go sell fucking Pat Mahomes jerseys at the fucking game when they're playing the Bengals?
Are they going to be the Birmingham Jaguars in a few years?
So fucking stupid.
I do want to touch on,
No, this is fucking stupid. Fuck you.
I get it.
Sorry,
And
Chick.
we can do about it, but I like his idea. What Sil said, one in Mexico, one in
Yeah.
Canada. That makes sense. One in Europe.
Is Jacksonville moving to?
This is an interesting question. If they wanted to move, how would they fucking do it, John?
They would contact EJA Moving Company, professional movers at 315-335-0516. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everyone and make it simple for you to move and relocate. Jacksonville Jaguars, that's EJAMoving.com. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. You're listening to the D-Line.
Thanks, John. You brought up a good point.
About EJA?
No, when he was talking about the Birmingham.
Well,
Jaguars,
that's what, yeah.
you were
yeah,
talking
that was. I was like,
But I want to touch on the XFL.
oh,
Yeah,
yes, it's
'cause
premiere
that-
this week,
That is coming up. Yes,
this
premiere.
weekend. Yeah.
And first thing I want to say is like the teams that they picked, the cities that they brought the XFL to. I have an issue with.
Well, these are all big cities from what I,
Right, and they're all cities that have NFL teams.
Yeah, that's what some of the East ones are weird. St. Louis, Tampa Bay. I'm kind of weird. Those aren't that big. Why not Chicago?
But no, screw that.
Oh, you want?
I want smaller markets. I want Rochester or
We are talking about the XFL, I would
Or
guess.
like Pennsylvania, Scranton, something like that.
I want to see some in Georgia. I want to see one in Alabama. I want to see, teams that like,
the Tuscaloosa Tide.
well, because you look at like down south, right? Like Georgia is a huge football town. So
Yeah.
is Alabama. And we see them all the time in the college. But where
I know, they've got a Texas representative, so why not an Alabama representative? You know what? You've sold me already on your argument.
because it's like, all right. So if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, right, and you live in Tampa, you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. You're not going to welcome this other team in. Yeah, they might be okay. I might go check out a game or two. But you bring that to a team. You bring it to a city like Albany or a team in, like we said in Alabama. That place is going to be packed. Look at the Utica Comets.
I disagree.
Look at the Utica Comets right now. You take that Utica Comets and you put them in a bigger market,
It's a niche area, though.
an NHL team. They're not going to rally behind that team as much. But because that's our team, we rally behind it. And I feel like
So I support that, Chicken. I like where you're going with that, but here's the problem. The AAFL tried that. The AAF or whatever it was, the Alliance of American
but
Football.
they
They
tried-
tried the small markets.
They went. Well, hang on. Here's the whole problem with the AAF. They went to Florida, perfect example. Orlando, probably the best team at the time when they folded.
Yeah.
Okay. They openly admitted they didn't start advertising until like a day or two before. That's your problem.
right.
Yeah.
XFL. Now, granted, I don't listen to much fucking radio. I don't watch much TV.
God, how is the rock you live under? Is it cold?
Other than my Facebook searching, I don't do much internet browsing either. I haven't heard jack
What do you
shit.
do?
Well, how are you supposed to hear? When they supposed to send you a pigeon?
I don't know. I know. Right? No, you're right.
Fuck.
You're right. I listen.
Jesus Christ, here comes the fucking horse
When I'm
with
in
the Pony Express.
I haven't heard anything, but I don't listen to radio. I don't watch TV. I don't go on the internet.
Well, no, hang on. Now they don't advertise on XM Radio Metal, Liquid Metal, channel 40, because that's what I listen to in the car.
Wow, what a plug for them. Huh?
Yeah, right.
When I'm home, they don't advertise on Star Trek, so or Fortnite. So
When is the last time you had sex?
By Fortnite, he means he builds a Fortnite.
You
house in-
virgin? Jesus Christ.
I have to look up everything. I go to Yardbarker, and that's it. And it's the NFL page, and I see the in Facebook, I get the NFL draft page that hits me up every fucking 14 seconds with a new article. So,
But I'm saying back to the XFL,
Yeah.
with the teams that they chose, the cities that they chose, you got New York on there. New York has two teams already.
I agree with you.
You got the Jets, you got the Giants, and then you got other teams.
Yeah, what about Syracuse? Play out of the fucking dome. What about Rochester?
Right,
You got a
I
dome out there.
don't think that you could draw the fans. I don't think people care.
Absolutely. You would care more because they don't have a team already there. You know, like if you're a team in Rochester, or they're still big.
I think you're like Chicken. I think you're right, and I want you to be right. But I'm going to play devil's advocate and just say that I don't know if it could work. I think that's why you need the big market.
Well,
I don't know.
I already think they're in trouble because they're already handing out free tickets because I'm a coach for flag football. I'm part of USAFootball.com.
Gotcha.
They're already, if you are a member of USAFootball.com, any players can get into a game for free, and coaches or parents of players can get a discount on a ticket. They're already doing that.
Which I like that idea, though.
You kind of have to in the beginning to kind of draw that fan base. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you go anywhere. Remember when the Comets came in here, and the second year we went to the championship, and everybody, this place was electric. But you can
Boogie.
Boogie Woogie. But you can go to other markets, and like they're like, oh yeah, whatever. You go to a Yankees game middle of the week, and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And it's the fucking Yankees. You know what I'm saying? It's because there's so much to do in New York City, and there's so much going on in these bigger cities. Yeah, there are more people, but people don't really give a shit because there's so much going on.
Point to you, John. I think we're moving toward. I think we're moving toward more of a market in sports where you're going to see that ticket sales and things of those lines aren't necessarily high on a team's priority. I think you're going to see a lot of teams giving away tickets more. I think because they know how much money they're making in advertisement and in certain situations like that. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, maybe how the XFL does it and how they brand. Because I'll tell you something. Obviously, we all know Vince McMahon is the owner of the XFL. Vince McMahon, over the last year and a half to 2 years, and I follow wrestling from afar. A lot of my buddies are big wrestling fans. But Vince McMahon, wrestling was dying about 3 years ago. It was really bad. Like, they made a lot of poor decisions. They cut the roster really, really down, a lot and stuff. It's interesting to see because Vince McMahon stepped in and kind of really brought them back, and he is very smart at advertising and is smart at marketing and smart at making business decisions. So I'm very interested to see, yes, it didn't work the first time because I think they missed with their ideas, but I'm very interested to see if maybe he kind of has that ability
the gusto to do this. All right, guys.
Who's that voice?
I just got to say, I've been listening on the way here, and I wish I was here moments ago. First off, love the spice you're throwing tonight about Jacksonville there. John, I got some stone tablets you can read. They're in the back of my car.
Jesus Christ.
Christ almighty. Oh, my God. What else?
I don't watch TV. I don't get mail. I don't get email. What's that email thing?
I've been reading the grains.
One time they sent me this little discount and it said 1,500 hours of AOL. I didn't know what it meant.
Is that coming in?
I got Venmo.
So I gave it. I used it as a coaster.
I wanted to be here minutes ago, but I was racking them up.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You thought of that the whole way here, and I like it.
Oh yeah, baby.
Fuck it, I like that one.
Guys,
Jeez.
yeah, thanks for having me on. Sorry I'm late.
Prehistoric tablets, right?
Yeah, so we're talking XFL, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so this Saturday, right?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
My argument was,
Are you allowed to choke slam is my only question.
Here's the problem.
it's a normal rule.
Did you hear what did you two just hear what Zach just said? They're starting this Saturday, right? That's the problem. Yeah. I don't know when they're fucking starting either.
Yeah.
And I'm a fucking diehard sports fan.
Yeah.
I turn that pile of shit on every morning and call the ESPN. And I watch it. But nobody has a fucking clue.
It's like you guys
There
said,
we go. XFL.
It's like you said about the AAF, though. I didn't hear a fucking peep about it till we were at the D's last party.
So
and all of a sudden it was on, and I'm like, holy shit.
And then
what
it's
is
off
this?
again.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like the difference with the XFL this time is they're not trying to compete with the NFL.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I like. They're like, there's off-season as you guys, NHL and basketball. So here's some more football for you. You enjoy. And they're not trying to, like, and they're trying different things. And I feel like this is, I really like to see them use this as more like a farm team or like an experiment. Like,
Yes.
They
Chicken.
tried, but the Players Association wouldn't go for it. Now, this is actually, I got the schedule here. They are on all major networks, not the Farm Channel or anything like that. This is the first two games are on Saturday, ABC and Fox, 2 p.m.
Cool. I'll be there.
2 games on Sunday.
Right
Fox,
before I go to the D party.
Fox and ESPN.
Great. Love it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
I don't know shit about it. Is it going to be another like 8-week schedule? Was
So-
AAF same thing?
I'm not sure how long the schedule is, but interesting thing. John's right. So
It's a 10-week regular season followed by a 2-week postseason with 2 semifinal playoff games and a championship game on April 26th.
Jay Vance is checking. He said, "I'd rather watch a lingerie bowl." Me too.
Oh hell yeah!
Interesting point to what John just said too is Landry Jones signed a 2-year deal. I believe. I forgot with which team. Whatever team Bob Stoops is coaching, because he was his coach in college at Oklahoma.
L.A., I believe.
No, I think it's Dallas, but I'm not sure. But anyways, Landry Jones, the Steelers, he was the first player to sign. The Steelers tried very hard when Roethlisberger got hurt and then Mason Rudolph got hurt to bring him back.
Dallas Renegades.
Yeah, the Dallas Renegades. So they tried really hard. In the XFL, Dallas said no.
They have 2 teams in fucking Texas. What the fuck is that?
And figure this.
Everything's bigger.
And Dallas and Houston.
And why Dallas and Houston? Why not San Antonio? San Antonio's a big market. So you already got a team in Dallas. You already got a team in Houston.
Well, they tried San Antonio with the Rough Riders, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, but for when? For what league?
I think that was the AFL.
Right.
Way back in the 80s. God damn it, I'm fucking old.
Here's my point.
I was -7 at that time.
Dallas Cowboy fans are diehard Dallas Cowboy fans.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? Like they're not gonna split their loyalty between this other team.
I don't know. It's the culture of Texas. Man.
I don't think the XFL is asking teams to do that because look at their start week a week after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if Chicago came out with an XFL team, I don't really give a fuck. If
well, they don't give a fuck
Texas,
about you.
Man, you got to think of all the stadiums out there.
Football fan.
Like how big football is to Texas right from childhood.
But it is in Georgia.
True.
It's in Alabama. It's in all these other these.
Maybe they're just hoping they plant it in these cities and it catches fire.
Like there's other places out there that people could be playing in that there's no sports at all.
Yeah.
And they're just like big void. I remember Charles Barkley. They asked him what his favorite football team is, and he's like, "Well, we didn't have anything, but mine was Georgia because I grew up down there. There's no football teams to root for."
Yeah.
And you think about the Georgia Bulldogs. You think about Bama. I mean, Bama every year is rubber stamped into the championship. What happens then when they all go? Who do they have loyalty?
Right.
So if you bring an XFL team there, Alabama, they're going to be all about it. I mean, those guys are going to in Georgia. Those guys are going to be.
Does Alabama have the economy to support an NFL quality team though, and all the money that you have to put into being a fan?
Who knows?
The games, the seats, the drive.
Hang on. Let's say the XFL takes off. Maybe they expand.
I just think
they will, but it'll be 5
when you're running
years.
over these same exact teams, these same exact cities. I just feel like you're guaranteed to fail.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're guaranteed to fail.
I don't even argue with that. I'm hoping they make it through the season. I don't want to see them fail.
I'd like to see this.
I had more hope for the AAF.
And I'd like to see, like what you were saying, about the economy in Alabama. This could actually spark Alabama, economy. Like it could help spread the wealth a little bit.
That's true.
Obviously, it's not going to be NFL wealth, but it's going to be something there. And like now these guys get out of college, maybe third string in college, they're not going to go to NFL, but they might go play for we play for Log Valley Vikings. Like you're not going on to college, but you'll play semi-pro.
I hate to say it though. Like my one argument to that chicken is exactly with the types of teams you just mentioned is they're not drawing, and I know it's because they don't have the budget probably to draw fans and market and stuff. But it's so tough to. Like I like you have to remember this is you bring up the Comets, which is a great example, right? We've seen how the Comets have transcended this area, but it's very, very hard. Like I remember having a conversation with Rob Ash, the owner of the Comets, and he was talking about baseball with me, being a big baseball guy, and he said, "Do you think we can sustain it?" And I said, "I don't know. It'll be interesting to see." The reason soccer's been so successful is we have a huge population of people that play soccer in this area.
Well, the Olympics help.
Hockey.
The Olympics help.
It's a huge thing. Whereas, like for football, it's like, it's not huge around here. I mean, the number. John can probably sit over there and tell you that the numbers in youth football around this area are going down.
Are horrendous and this is exactly where I was going. Thank you for reading my mind.
Amen.
Parents don't want their kids to get concussions, so they will send them to basketball. They will send them to baseball. They will send them to soccer, hockey.
Send them to me. I'll give them a concussion.
But what I'm saying is
hockey's too expensive, and football's too physical. I don't want my baby to get hurt.
Yeah,
my baby.
Right, but we're looking at I mean, you're looking at the Utica market, right? We don't have a major college.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Syracuse University, Syracuse would probably be a decent market. Albany, you know.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
I agree.
there's other cities, Rochester,
Yeah.
that have major universities.
I have the teams for the AAF if you want to hear them. Some of them are major markets, like NFL teams, but most of them
But we're
are
going by the
not.
AAF, which lasted, what, 3 weeks?
Right. I'm
Exactly,
just saying.
though. That's the
your,
point, though.
Your premise didn't work.
No, but my premise with a bad organization.
Well, Bill Polian ran the AAF.
It was a bad organization. They right from the get-go, when you only had 3 weeks of existence, you obviously didn't do well, and you don't have Jim McMahon money. I mean, you got Jim McMahon money.
Vince.
I'm sorry.
Jim played for the Bears.
Vince McMahon. I think Jim's
Him
doing
too,
well.
though.
Funny. That was great. Man.
I think Jim's doing
I
well.
went along with it like I know. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Vince.
Dave
I was like, yeah, Jim McMahon.
Shadelback.
Oh yeah, I played golf with him last Tuesday. That's right.
They brought up a point. He said the original XFL and AAFL did a great job of hitting those neglected markets. I don't think they were marketed properly. XFL from the beginning, the first time around was kind of more of like a slap in the NFL. They were trying to go after the NFL market. They were trying to go,
Shitty talent too in the
Yeah.
first one.
I was gonna
It
say.
was just guys that were like kind of like you're gonna see guys in the XFL that you're gonna recognize names. You're gonna see names if you watch this weekend. When you watch, you're gonna know names. You're
And
gonna
that's
know
what people
Landry
want.
Jones. You're gonna know Josh Johnson. You're gonna know Cameron Artis-Payne. You're gonna know some of these guys.
I think you're going to see Josh Gordon.
Oh boy, oh,
Maybe.
that's a mic drop there, huh? That's,
Well, where else?
maybe you could, maybe.
These guys,
Who
like
knows?
him, like he's going to be ousted from the NFL. You bring him over here, and then you got guys from Canada might want to come in and play. I like it that they put it in a time you're just getting off of football. You're still kind of on that football high, but now it's like, okay, here you go. And
a big moment for I think for the XFL with what you just said with Canadian players coming over and now that the Arena League doesn't exist anymore, I think a big moment that we're going to see is the next level of that. If the XFL can sustain and players really succeed, and as we just talked about, Landry Jones not being able to go and sign with Pittsburgh because he was contractually obligated in Dallas with the Dallas team in the XFL, you're going to see when these guys do hit that free agency mark in the XFL. That will be a very pivotal moment for them because being able to negotiate against NFL teams or trying to talk guys out of the NFL, that's going to be a big thing if they can sustain for 2 to 3 years and Landry Jones has unbelievable years, or his backup is former Syracuse quarterback Eric Dungy. If these guys succeed, then in a year when their contract's up, it could be a bidding war in the NFL, and that's when the excitement's really going to start.
And that's where I'd say, like, not maybe an official farm league of the NFL, but like you're going to see guys coming off of injury that might have gotten passed over on other teams.
Sure,
guys that didn't make the 53 cut, the roster cuts, and they're going to go out there and play in the XFL because A, they want a paycheck, B, they want to stay relevant, and you're going to see guys that.
And it's what you've been working for your whole life,
Chicken, you know what they crushed too? You know what they nailed? Think about the time period they're going to play in. They're going to play in a perfect time period. You said that it's April 25th is the championship game. So you're talking right before the draft, going into OTAs. So like you're a free agent, and you sign a 1-year deal with the XFL, and you really light up. Like this is the ultimate time. Like you're putting scouts' ass in the seats because they're not going to college games right now. They'll see spring ball games, which was whatever. But you're talking about a time period, a dead period. That's, I think, one of the best things the XFL has done, is they're nailing a time period. They've gotten rid of the he hate me, the guys who wore their fucking names on their jerseys, the wrestling shit, the body slam shit that Zach brought up a minute ago.
Yeah.
And they're bringing in a product that's going to try to showcase guys to get to that next level.
And I'm going to throw a name out there that I think should try out for the XFL if they're true to like what they want to do and they want to play is Colin Kaepernick.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great
out
point.
there and play, and then people would be like, "Oh shit, he can really play."
Yeah.
And just put away that
Prove it.
Exactly. And now, if you can sit there and you can go out there and play, you're going to be able to go out there and play in the XFL.
Yeah.
Granted, they're going to say, "Well, it's not NFL talent," but some of them.
It is NFL talent.
Yeah.
But here's the point: you're still playing.
Yeah.
You're still showing that you have the mobility and able to like.
He wants the big paycheck for not doing much.
Interesting.
Whereas XFL, you're going to get killed.
Well, he said he wanted to play. He did the tryout last year. He's not going to be a starter no matter what. He's been out of the game for.
A tryout's different than a game, though, for sure. So
Right.
it would be a good.
He
way
would
to
be,
showcase his talent
from
if
what
he
I
has
can
any.
see on the New York roster for what are they? The New York what? New York Guardians. Christ.
Yeah, I don't like that a lot.
Wow.
He's going to be 10 times better than the quarterback they have.
Who is it?
It is. Let me scroll down here.
And just like that, I feel the New York Guardians. I feel like
The New York team is scheduled to get 3 wins. I mean that's how bad.
Kind of trash.
I feel like they're the
Yeah.
Walmart. I feel like they're the Walmart brand teams. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
generic.
Yeah.
You know, instead of fruits, you take fruit rings.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I feel like this is. Like,
Fruit ring. Dude, fruit rings are awesome.
John,
Oh my God,
John, you should.
that hit home.
John, you should. The link you sent us in our
Matt
group chat-
McGloin.
Oh, Matt McGloin, former pride of Penn State, former quarterback
Yes.
with the
Yeah.
Oakland
Yeah,
Raiders.
yeah.
Did you say Pat McGroin?
Yeah, I did.
You should post the link on that page. That was a really good article to let people know the rule changes to the XFL
Oh, yeah.
is
You know
going to
what? I'll
involve
do it right now. Dude,
to our page. It's very interesting.
It is the whole breakdown of the XFL.
Yeah.
It is
Interesting.
Sweet.
Another interesting
Phenomenal
point.
Hold on, I just want to back up
Yeah.
before you start. What you were saying
Before you
Pat
before you don't shut the fuck up. For 5 minutes.
I'm never getting into what you were saying about now they're changing the whole wrestling style of things. In actuality, they're going just the opposite. They're trying to do different
Legit,
things
yeah.
and trying to create more safety. And that's where I kind of like the idea of maybe try things with the XFL, try new things to brand safety before you bring it to the NFL where they're kind of like staunch, die hard. This is what we did for years and years and years.
And it has more publicity on it, you
Right,
know?
so we tested it over here. It worked in the XFL. Let's see if we can bring it over to the NFL.
I
Great
get the
point,
fe-
Chicken. Read a lot of those rules that are in the top of the article. I'm sorry, Zach.
No, you're
a
good.
lot of the rules in the top of that article will outline that for you. And one of the rules that
You're touching his nipple right now.
one of those rules that I really like is there are not 8 teams in the XFL. There's 9. There is a full 52-man roster of what they call the practice squad players. These are players that there's a certain threshold in the weeks that after that the rosters expand from 52 to 57, and it's basically going to be a process where they're going to. I am not fully read into it, but those 52-man rosters you're going to be allowed to go to 57 and pull players from that practice squad. So it's going to be a great opportunity for injuries and guys playing. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
they don't tighten up on the rosters. They let loose.
They let loose because you have to remember too, John. I mean, think about when we sit during the season and watch our NFL teams play. If you took your depth chart from week 1 and your depth chart from 16,
You have 2
it's a
different teams.
fucking clusterfuck.
Pat
You know?
McGroin is not going to make it a whole year.
Poor Matt McGloin. Oh man, so sad. But I think that's a really cool idea, and you're absolutely right, Chicken. And you know what else too? The XFL might help because it's just the same as everybody in college football. College football overtime is awesome. Okay, it's great fucking rules. It's great football. It's really exciting.
I love the
And
one
it's like,
foot down. I'm glad the XFL.
if we see some of these things working in college, we see it working in the XFL. Maybe the NFL will adapt.
Well, they're doing away from the extra point.
I love the 1, 2, 3 point system.
Yeah, right.
I love
they're
it.
doing away from the extra point, make them go do a play again, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Then like the playoffs or the overtime's like a 5.
It's from the 5. Shit, I don't remember.
It's tiered down, but it's very like I really implore people to go and read this article that John just posted on our page. It's just it'll open your eyes to really how cool it is. You know?
5 rounds, 1 play drives from the 5-yard line, and the team with the most. So they're going to get 5 plays.
It's almost like a shootout. Huh?
It is. It's like a shootout. Whoever has the most successful 2-point plays from the 5-yard line wins.
Cool. Can't
Wow.
wait to see it.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's
can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's different, and like the traditionalists are gonna like have a problem with it. But I like it. They didn't bring it right to the NFL.
But we don't want the traditionalists. Fuck.
No, that's why I'm watching the XFL because I want not tradition.
Right.
I want to expand my glorious mind.
Use it as like a test market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay with that.
And I like that it's not a test market where we're just colliding guys in and just trying to create this chaos and get guys hurt.
Yeah.
They're actually testing things to make it safer. And after reading that, I felt much, much better about this league.
Awesome article.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome article. And I'll tell you another thing the XFL is doing as well is they are bringing gambling into it heavily. They're going to be talking about it on the broadcast. And again, fuck the traditionalists. This is the new wave. This is the new craze in sports with sports betting becoming legal not just in Las Vegas anymore. It's legal in our
Great
state.
idea. I mean, look at DraftKings.
And they're going to talk about that. They're going to talk about the line. They're going to talk about it moving, and that's going to make guys get so into the game. I don't even care if I don't care about the fucking Guardian Gladiators, whoever the fuck they are. But like, if I'm watching the game and I put I got a 100 spot on the Guardians, and they're fucking talking about it. On
Gardeners.
I don't know who.
$20 in the Gardeners.
Yeah. Fucking give me 100 on them to win it all. But like,
You're going to lose $100.
Yeah, 3 damn wins, Matt McGloin.
With a Gilbride at the helm, you're going to lose $100.
Oh, Kevin Gilbride's the head coach?
No, not him, his son, I believe. Hang on. Oh yeah, it's even worse.
Robbie.
So
Right.
yeah,
hang on.
But then again, like the Giants are so bad, they might actually be the team in New York.
he was the old D coordinator there.
Yeah, right.
You know, so
Oh, it is
OC.
Kevin Gilbride. Oh my God.
He was the old OC in New York.
But that's Kevin Gilbride. Like, okay, so now that's a name that people know, especially in New York. So they might.
See, I remember him as the dude that got punched by Buddy Ryan.
Yeah.
No, I'm
First time I ever saw a coach punch another coach, hilarious. It will go down in infamy as the offensive coordinator who didn't fucking run the ball when he was supposed
Didn't
to.
Jim Schwartz and Jim Harbaugh go at it?
Yeah.
They hit each other too, didn't they?
Right. No, they didn't hit each other, but they got in a shoving match where they needed to be separated. But Buddy Ryan punched Kevin Gilbride because Kevin Gilbride did not fucking run the ball when he should have. That's it. It's a fucking fact.
I love you.
Imagine if Pete Carroll imagine if somebody did that to Pete fucking Carroll.
I know.
Yeah, somebody should have.
Well, now hang on. I meant to bring that up earlier. Your whole the message got old, and with Pete Carroll, it got old. He shipped all those players out. The only person he's got left is Wilson.
Yeah.
He brought everybody.
Still winning.
So right, because the message.
It's a new message,
failed.
new people.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck the old guys who couldn't get the message.
Right.
You know?
No, they got the message. They won a Super Bowl, lost another, and then they shipped him out.
Yeah.
New message,
Speaking about
new
old
people.
guy, new message. You got here on your paper that the Raiders are looking at Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense, and I
yeah.
would give him anything he wanted if I was Mark Davis.
Vegas?
I am more and more becoming a believer of the fact that Tom Brady is not going to be back in New England next year. One day at a time, I'm becoming more and more of a believer. And I will tell you, this is a question I posed. The head chef at the restaurant I work at, he's a huge sports fan. He's a Carolina Panthers fan. So tough week for him with Greg Olsen. Love you, Greg Olsen. I wish you could come to the Jets. I know you won't visit us, but I wish you would.
Back to the Bears.
Yeah. I think he's going to go to Buffalo, but that's another conversation in 5
I think
minutes.
he's going to boot.
The Raiders, if you were Mark Davis, okay, and you have Derek Carr, who's not your future, you've pretty much figured that out. You figured that out. You're going to Las Vegas. You're opening this Star Wars-looking stadium. The place looks fucking incredible, okay? If Tom Brady is a free agent, which magically, would you just look at it? He is. I would call his agent and I would say, what is the number?
Yeah.
And if the number is anything less than $45 million for one season, I'm giving it to him. I'll dump the fucking load right in his fucking yard of money. Okay? Bring him to Las Vegas, and that place, it's gonna sell out anyways. But man,
I know, you get a face like that in that new franchise, that's fucking
See, I think
Patriots are looking at 30.
big money.
Patriots are looking at dumping 30 on him.
which they have to. They have to pay him what he wants.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you're Tom Brady. How exciting would that be?
How can the fucking Raiders? Now, this is where I'm going to get livid because you saw.
Are we going to England?
I don't mind New England dumping $30 million on him because they owe him that. What he brought to that franchise,
Absolutely.
fine.
They owe him $100 million.
But the Raiders to come out and 40, 45 million for a guy who threw fucking ducks all last year.
TB12.
No.
Okay, so Dave is saying Derek Carr is a better QB right now
Yes.
than TB12.
Yes!
And he said if Caleb could take the old man's dick out of his mouth for a moment, he could see what he might be able to see it.
GG, Dave. GG.
I don't think it's a wise move. I get what you're saying. I
don't think it's a wise move.
I agree.
I don't think it's smart.
I agree that you want that big name.
I don't even think it puts asses in seats. I don't. I
You
think
put your fucking ass in a seat, Sobreth,
I
in
think
fucking England.
it pisses
Okay?
fans off because fans are fucking smart. Smart as this guy who doesn't watch fucking TV or
Yeah.
fucking radio or whatever.
Whoa. No, fans
Silver-
are not smart.
No.
Silver's
Fans are
translating
fucking
calligraphy.
idiots.
They're chugging beers out of each other's ass cracks out
I
there.
tell you what, those Oakland fans are going, yeah, we want Tom Brady. Ever since the fucking Tuck rule, they either want to kill him or they want him on their team.
Yeah.
No,
And-
I call bananagrams.
Maybe we can all just go play in England.
I thought he was going to kiss you.
I did. I was like, all right,
He was hoping.
you better get me right there.
He had his mouth open. But I don't like.
He's like, shit, are we doing this mid-show? Baby bird me?
Well, it is our last show
don't-
of the season.
I don't officially hate the move, go to Oakland. Well, Las Vegas.
Caleb.
And yeah, I'm not talking. So
I'm listening, chicken.
I got a Pepsi in the fridge.
right, you done taking your order? Like what the fuck?
Can I get a small Clamato juice?
I would like to see Oakland grab a younger quarterback for the future. Either stick with Carr until you draft somebody worthy of it.
Carr is fine.
I don't feel they're in a big need to bring in. When are you gonna have Tom Brady?
Their
For?
O-line,
A year or two?
they need to fucking shore up their
It
O-line.
reminds me when Kansas City brought in Joe Montana, and it was this big. Joe Montana really didn't do all that great. I feel like Rich Gannon did better than Joe Montana did.
He made the playoffs.
Yeah. Wow. Rich Gannon did too. And then the following year, Rich Gannon ended up going to the Super Bowl.
Marty Schottenheimer, though. I mean,
This
you know,
is,
did he go anywhere?
but Gannon ended up going to the Super Bowl. The
Right.
next year, after bringing the Chiefs to the Super Bowl or to the playoffs, he ended up going to Oakland and bringing him to the Super Bowl. But that's my point: is they had Joe Montana and they get nowhere. They did just as well with Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon was the guy that they could have built a team around.
You're saying
Hang on.
they shouldn't go dumping money when they should probably wait and see
Hang
what they
on.
have ironing out for
Joe
them?
Montana and Rich Gannon were, in my mind, now I may be wrong here.
No. Don't take Joe Montana's body of work.
No.
Just
no.
his work in Kansas
Hang on.
City.
I'm talking about their careers. I thought they were
no.
10 years apart.
No, they're not. No.
How because you're saying the next year Joe Montana was there,
No.
and Rich
I
Gannon was.
said, Joe Montana brought him to the playoffs maybe once or twice. Okay, Rich Gannon when he came in for Elvis Grbac and he came in for Bono,
but like 10 years later.
it wasn't even that long, dude. No, it was probably like 3 or 4 years later.
You guys need a fucking pen and paper to figure this out? Or
I
what?
really do. Oh
It was
my
in the
God.
90s.
All right, I'm
It
going to
was
be
all in
quiet
the
for the
90s.
next few minutes because
It
I
was
got to
all-
figure this out.
It was all in the 90s. But my point being is you had the Hall of Famer Joe Montana and you're paying him big bucks. He didn't do any better than the guy that was your backup at the time. And so I'm saying is you need a guy who's a little bit more mobile in Oakland. I get you want the big name, but I just don't see it in Oakland. I don't see
Are you saying Rich Gannon and the Raiders to the Super Bowl?
Rich Gannon went to the Super Bowl with the Raiders, yes, against Tampa Bay.
Okay. You realize Joe Montana played for the Chiefs in 93 and 94. Rich Gannon.
Played for the Chiefs when? 96, 97?
Hang on.
It's not 10 years, dude.
No, hang on. I thought you said when Gannon went to the Super Bowl. That's why I was like, I'm trying to make sure I'm getting your argument right.
The year before he was playing on the Chiefs, or maybe 2 years before he was playing on.
He sat out 94 with the Soldiers, so he wasn't even on the team with fucking Joe Montana at all.
I didn't say he was, asshole. Listen to what I'm saying.
He signed with the Chiefs in 95, a year later.
And he was back up to Elvis Grbac. He was back up to Bono, or whatever the fuck.
Steve Bono in 97. He created,
Big U2 fan.
right.
And he backed him up. He went 13-3
Okay. The way,
as the backup.
I'm just saying the way I took your
He's got
argument
statistics.
was. Yeah, no, I'm just saying the way I took your argument was that Joe Montana didn't do shit. Oh, Rich Gannon brought him to fucking
I'm not
glory.
saying, no, that's not
A
what
year
I was-
later,
that-
in the Super
you weren't
Bowl, I'm
listening
like,
to what I
what?
was saying. You're not listening to what I was saying.
Okay.
Silbert, there's a carrier pigeon at the door.
I'm saying you paid this huge Hall of Famer all this money, and your backup quarterback was able to do just the same, but not at the same time they were playing. I'm just saying you have a guy on your roster that could actually play the ball. Like, play Carr now until you draft somebody who's better.
Yeah.
Don't take that Hall of Famer thinking you're going to have the same success, because he's probably going to be average because he's only got 1 or 2 years, and you need at least 1 or 2 years just to get acclimated to where you're at.
I'm saying Joe Montana played great in KC those 2 years.
That's arguable. I was a big KC fan during.
I can't wait to see Brady in Las Vegas.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna happen.
There's that rumor that he already took his kids out of school from.
There was a rumor too the other day that they floated that he put his kids in school in Nashville.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Man, I can't only imagine what the
He's not
Nashville
going to
public education system
That
is
would be
like.
just terrible too. Like you have a young quarterback in there that had a great year. Why?
Yeah, they're not going to shake that up. Tannehill's going to be back.
No
Yeah.
shit. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it's the what do we always say? What's the website? Oh, the 24/7 report.
The
It's
only
like the
thing-
24/7 report for every fucking team. You know.
The only thing I see in that favor is Gruden being in charge of the offense with Brady, but I would think he would want more of a mobile quarterback. You know, like I can't see him, even though he loves his Tom Brady. You know, he loves his Tom Brady.
I love me some Tom Brady.
I just don't see Tom Brady leaving. I don't see it being in his benefit to leave at this point in his career.
Financially, yes. I don't get. I can't grasp myself around the fact that the Raiders would pay him more than $30 million. Can't.
I would give him $50 million if I was the fucking Raiders. I'd put fucking asses right in those seats. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And then I'd call into this fucking show next year on our first episode and say, fuck you all.
And when he throws 2 picks and fucking loses 13 to fucking 12, you know,
It was because his fucking hands weighed down by all the fucking rings he's got on it. That's why.
and the fucking kicker got all their points. I mean,
Yeah.
no.
I just
Okay.
don't think it's a good idea. I mean, you're trying to build a new brand for the market.
Oh, really? You don't think it's a good idea?
I think he just wants that final paycheck. That's
I
all.
get
He's
it.
just chasing one more big check, and he could get it. If not Oakland,
Yeah, but does he really need the money?
No. His
No.
wife,
Like,
his
6
fucking
rings.
wife
That's
makes
true.
more than him, pussy.
that's true.
And then he
And he's got that company, his brand now, TV12.
And who's not going to use him for endorsements? I mean,
Yeah.
the guy could just do commercials the rest of his life and make millions.
How about that? How about the commercial he did for the Super Bowl? Like when he teased it on his Twitter, saying I have a big announcement coming. It was him like at Gillette Stadium,
Hulu.
and then it was a Hulu commercial.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that shit. I love when guys fuck with people like that.
Dave's saying Brady will need preferential. Yeah, he loves to use
Preferential.
Preferential ref treatment.
it to follow him and doesn't end up broken or having a truly pathetic year. See, here's the
I
problem.
agree.
Like Tom Brady's the darling. He gets all the calls, but you're going to play on the Raiders who don't get all the calls. So I wonder how that would work. You know, the Raiders are like the antithesis of the Patriots.
Did you guys see the pregame to the Super Bowl where they were showing the coaches and Bill Belichick whipped out his huge fat rings?
Yeah.
Actually, those were from the Giants years. So I thought that was awesome. I was like, wow, what a
power
dick.
play.
What a dick.
Power play. I
That
love
was
it. I love that
awesome.
fucking guy. I love that guy. Stick it
Yeah.
right up all your asses.
Yeah, seriously.
Fuck you.
I have a lot of respect. I call him a cheater, whatever, but that man is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking mad scientist.
He's gangster.
But it's cool to see, like, you know, okay, he was like the only mad scientist for a while, but now you're
Not sure if he's a better coach than Adam Gase, but
yeah, you're seeing a lot of these mad scientists come out there now, like guys like Peterson
Worst
and
sarcasm
Andy
ever.
Reid stepped up his game big time, as we were just talking about. But
Andy Reid hasn't stepped up much because he's so fucking fat. But yeah,
I was watching something today, and they're talking about Jim Harbaugh and potentially going to some NFL teams, and they said there's like 4 or 5 teams that would definitely hire him. And the commentator was saying something about going to the Bills, and I'm like, why
Why?
on earth would the Bills do that?
Sean McDermott, baby.
McDermott's
I'll tell you something.
Stellar coach.
We'll get a little ballsy here after the Super Bowl. I think Sean McDermott's going to win a Super Bowl in Buffalo.
Wow.
Wow.
I really do. I
can't
think
even- he motivates that team. I can't even argue.
he's man. If there's one guy that I like, his ascension into head coaching has been unbelievable. I really think he's got it to
Dave's like, Belichick is a truly an epitome of evil genius, terrible human, but remarkably good at his job.
Yeah.
unreal at his job.
Speaking of Coach of the Year, John Harbaugh did win it.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Yeah, what were the awards? The awards came down. So who was our MVP? Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Associated Press
Unanimous.
Coach of the Years. Well, let's see. Do we got the rest of the?
Yeah, I can't imagine one person besides like maybe Mahomes, but
Let me get all.
No, yeah, he was unanimous. The only other time was Tom Brady in 2010.
Lamar Jackson was like just completely.
I don't believe he was unanimous. I'm sorry. I think Bill Polian didn't vote for him. I hate to correct you on that.
Maybe it was
I
one
really-
away
I-
from unanimous.
Yeah, he was one away,
One
and they like dogged him hard because Bill Polian hates Lamar Jackson for some reason. I know there's a story behind that. It's funny you bring that up. I know there's a story behind that.
I'd be interested.
But like it definitely wasn't unanimous. So rookie of the year was Nick Bosa.
sense.
Players of the year,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson,
Stephon Gilmore.
yeah, and then defensive player of the year was Stephon Gilmore. Let's see, offensive rookie of the year, my boy Kyler Murray.
Yep.
AP
Which I'm not surprised at.
No,
he
me neither.
deserved that.
Yeah,
And
me
he
neither.
played out of his ass.
For the shit pile he was in.
Yes, you're right.
On fire.
And then let's see, we've got the AP offensive player of the year was Michael Thomas. Got to give it to him. I mean, that makes sense. You guys want to go ahead and try to guess who was the comeback player of the year?
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And the assistant of the year was Greg Roman, very well deserved offensive coordinator in Baltimore. So yeah, I can't really argue with any of those.
I hope Tannehill gets a shot. Like you say, comeback player. Like he's got a great coach. Like another one that we're talking about being like little new geniuses is Mike Vrabel. We've seen like
They played to his strength. Man, they played to his. They gave him a strong running game.
That's
They
what
gave
you
him, yeah, exactly. That's what you do.
don't
You're
outthink
right.
it. And like
No.
and I love what Vrabel did. Like he's like, I got this monster back here. I'm gonna feed him.
Yeah.
And like 2 years ago, we're talking about this guy being a buzz.
Miami asked him, Tannehill, to put the game on his back. You know what? He's not that guy. Whereas Vrabel said, you know what? We got a strong running game. You got to manage. Now, I'm not saying he's a game manager because Tannehill went out and won some of those games.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You know, so he's perfect for that system. You fucking sign that guy. You pay him his due.
And
Get him a good
and
contract.
like I said, like you sign him for 1 or 2 year. Give him a 2 year contract.
yes.
Tannehill?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I'm in.
Right.
I'm in.
2 year contract.
I'm in
show
on
him
2
the
years.
Contract.
Because you can't fuck me as hard as Jacoby Brissett fucked the Colts, so that's fine with me.
And you know, maybe not franchise him because you pay him more than probably.
Oh my God, you can't franchise that guy. It's like $30 million on the tag
Right.
this year.
So 2 year. If I'm Tannehill, I take it. I don't go on the market. But yeah, I get it. You could do that. You know, Nick Foles, but you could be Foles.
He's not going to succeed
It's
in
like
any other
Foles
system.
gold. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you sign Nick Foles, and it's like, oh, he's going to be great, and then they sign him, and he doesn't do shit.
He
Yeah.
better go to a system with a great running game. Otherwise, and a solid defense. Otherwise, he's not.
Don't Brock Osweiler yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, go after the big money. Stay where you're at. You can get a ring. You will be known as a good quarterback.
Yep.
You know, I would, and that's kind of what Brady did all these years. No, Tom Brady didn't. You know, hold
He's
out
pretty
for,
good, huh?
He held up. He never held out for contract. He always took a little bit lesser money. No,
I don't want to say he's a system fucking quarterback, but man.
Shut up.
But I'm talking about what
really
he did with his
is.
contracts, not with his play, but his contracts. He took smaller contracts so that they can actually put talent around
Yeah,
him.
he took $15 million every year of his career so far.
Right, and this guy could have been the highest paid quarterback in the league every single year. So showing that kind of selflessness, yeah, I can't even speak right now.
Selflessness.
But for his team, and like he's gonna get his money. He's
Yeah.
even living pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
But now you could give your chance to stay with your team for a while and build a career. And if Tannehill's smart and take a book out, like I said, of Brock Osweiler, he ran for the money. Which if he stayed in the Broncos, I think he would have a much better career.
You know, also keep in mind too, Ryan Tannehill was one of the first quarterbacks to get the giant deal. Right before he got the deal, right before Garoppolo, and so Ryan Tannehill, like this is kind of a stupid thing to say because there's always more money to be made, but like he's made his money. Like Ryan, stay there, do your thing, get a 3-year deal. I like 2 years. I'm right there with you, and succeed. And I think I do want to. Another note with the Titans that happened this week: Dean Pease retired, their defensive coordinator. They are not going to replace him. So obviously it's going to be Vrabel's defense. So, and they also hired. Remember old Jim Haslett.
Yeah.
The coach in New Orleans, they hired him. So,
Wow.
as a linebackers coach. So it's going to be very interesting. Another point that we want to touch on, anybody want to make a gripe about the Hall of Fame vote or no?
Well, before you
are
get
we
to
happy?
that,
Never mind. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, while we were still talking about players,
Sorry.
I see you got the Cowboys are looking at franchising Dak Prescott.
I don't agree. I don't argue with it.
I don't argue with
Have
that.
to.
I feel like that's a job. You franchise Dak. See what you can do with Amari Cooper. See if you can sign Amari Cooper. I wouldn't franchise Amari Cooper.
No.
Franchise Dak.
You lock Dak. I mean, the salary cap is probably going up again this year.
No.
No?
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just keeps going up.
Right.
Now you got a new
so you can do
coach,
it.
new system. I wouldn't want to sign him any kind of long term. You don't know, he could get hurt. So I like the idea of franchising him. It puts that to bed.
Right, it does because it's a solid number. That's it. Number's done. All right, we got you for a year.
It's also, is he going to be I don't really worry about this, but play devil's advocate that too. Is he going to be conducive with the new coaching staff? Is this their guy?
That's why you feel it out. That's why you
franchise him.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I agree with that.
And
I like him.
you going back to what you say. He's not Mike McCarthy's draft pick.
Yeah, he's not Mike McCarthy's
he's
guy.
He's probably some of the reason why McCarthy came there.
Yeah,
I think he's Mike McCarthy's quarterback, though. I really feel he fits his system.
But Dak's got I feel like
Big Wang.
Yeah, he probably does. But I feel like he's been held back a lot. Like you said, make Dak beat us because Ezekiel's going to run all over you. But I also feel like they haven't given him the weapons to work with in the right system to work it in. Everything was pretty vanilla. Everything was based around the run. And I like to see if they are.
I would like to see him move his feet.
Yeah, get Dak out of the and he can run, man. The guy can run like a running back.
Would have been nice to maybe hire Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. You know what? That would have been and I'm glad they did it. I hate the freaking Cowboys, but you're right. That would have been the better pick right there. Would have been Eric Bieniemy. Would have got that off.
That makes sense or no? Shit, makes a little bit too much sense almost.
I agree. It's kind of like Jim Schwartz going to the Giants. I thought would have been a way better deal than the was he
Joe Judge?
Special teams coordinator.
Yeah, some plug.
Yeah, what the?
He'll probably be coach of the year next year. Watch.
Yeah, right. If he is great, I'll eat crow. But you know what I'm saying? If going by what Eric Bieniemy's out there. Jim Schwartz is a guy that's out there. These other Jim Schwartz, you weaken your team, your opponent, and you get a guy that's a quality defense. I don't know. I think that would have been a no-brainer.
I always feel like Schwartz is getting on the brink of he interviewed for a couple jobs, but he's not the analytic guy that Cleveland wanted. That was his job he interviewed for. I feel like Jim Schwartz is almost like, what? This is a fucking great gig living in Philadelphia and being in DC. Why not? I'll be the interim head coach when they fire Peterson in a few years. I
don't know. I think Peterson could be a mainstay.
Yeah, he could be, but you never know. He'll be the guy if they fire him.
And I love that the fact that the past 2 years they had rough with injuries. Actually, 3 years. I mean, they kind of back to the playoffs.
I mean, honestly, the defense may have been the weak point this year.
But they've been crushed by injuries. But
that's why I'm like, you can't even say that because you literally have to take the entire coaching staff and say, you know what, you had a bad year with injuries. Let's stay put. If it happens again, now you start looking at the strength and conditioning coach, and you start with the underlings and work your way up to the coach.
The little people.
Yeah, you nail.
And that's
the
the sign of things you're on Rocky, you're on the hot seat is when they start doing it like they did to Aggie, who got rid of pretty much his whole offensive staff.
What kills me is with the Bears, they went higher up and left the underlings below it. I mean, Trestman and Fox.
Oh, that crew.
Yeah. They changed all the higher ups, but left the strength and conditioning coach. Meanwhile, the injuries continued to plague the organization. Whereas if you notice,
they changed that.
No, this year.
Yeah, this year they changed it.
But before, they didn't.
Right.
They left it all there.
And you notice,
and the injuries still fucking kept coming, and it was like, dude, what the fuck? Yep. They changed it last
2 or 3 years in a row.
For the guy who yelled at me at the bar last week, I'm sorry with the F-bombs, but.
It's like Silver gets such
well, no, it was.
I covered all of that in the rant about England.
They changed the strength and conditioning coach and medical staff last year, and it helped. We made the playoffs. But for the previous 6 or 7 years, we had the same staff. Whereas now with the Eagles,
20 guys on IR almost every year.
Yeah.
With the Eagles now, all right, it's 1 year, fine, great. If it happens again, now you start to look at that staff. You don't worry about the head coaching staff yet, or the coordinators. Don't hit the underlings. They're doing something wrong. All right, I'm serious. You work your way up. As an owner, though, they don't see that.
Over the Bears' strength and conditioning coach, well deserved. It's entertaining for frothy rage that brings forth.
Thank you, Dave.
Frothy means you're spitting all over.
Hey, oh god! Well, this fucking mic couldn't smell any worse, dude. I smell like I'm eating poop every time I talk. It reeks.
Why, did Caleb fart again?
No, this microphone has always reeked, and I hate it every week.
All right.
Should we tell him that we come in and fart on it before he gets here?
I am 90% sure.
You ever gotten pink eye, Phil?
Z changes the mic before other guests come in and before I come in. I'm 90% sure.
You ever gotten pink eye?
I've, yep.
He's got pink throat.
Oh man. Oh man. Hall of Fame. Just want to mention two big names. Or three big names, I guess. So Steve Atwater, we'll go with. That was a big one.
He rocked Christian Okoye. Yes.
Yeah. Troy Polamalu.
Well-deserved. Fuck
Troy
yeah, dude.
Polamalu. He has to be a
Man.
first ballot guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And the Edge, the Edrin James.
I
guy.
am not a fan of that.
No, hang on. It's not his first ballot.
It doesn't matter. I don't think he did enough body of work to even become.
Dude's got a Super Bowl.
So does Trent Dilfer.
But Edgerrin James ran for a lot of yards.
He was good.
Dilfer
He
did
was
not.
good, but
Isaac Bruce as well.
when I look at guys, there's other guys out there like Priest Holmes. You put like Edgerrin James versus Priest Holmes. I don't know. I think Priest Holmes deserves it more.
Priest Holmes' career was all of 3.
I mean,
Edgerrin James was like 7.
Edrin James had a longevity of a
Priest Holmes had more than 3
career.
years.
I don't know. Priest Holmes had heavy injury problems toward the end of his career.
Yeah.
But he was on one of the highest scoring
I
offenses.
can't argue with that a bit. I mean,
Edrin James did it for longer. Priest Holmes did it better. And I'm Edrin James is a shoe-in for me. I bet Peyton Manning announces him. Too.
Really a shoe-in? Really?
Yeah.
Edgerrin
Yeah.
James? I just doesn't. Like Steve Atwater. Hell yeah.
Is Curtis Martin? Is Curtis Martin a Hall of Famer?
Yes, because
Yes.
Curtis Martin, you could rubber stamp 1,000 yards every single.
So
year
Edgerrin
for,
James
like
is a Hall of Famer.
13 years. He has the longest 1,000-yard rusher every single year, the most consistent back ever, probably.
right.
So yeah, I would definitely because his consistency, his body of work.
Thank you, Caleb, for that analogy.
Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. And Steve Hutchinson, too, left guard or
Oh,
tackle.
left tackle. Yeah, dude. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he was fucking solid.
Yeah, he was a dude. So yeah, I like the class. I mean, it's not going to wow you at all, but
Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher and then
Bill
Jimmy
Cowher.
Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Again, not going to wow you at all.
just a little bit mediocre.
Another coach. I'm surprised never got back into the game.
Yeah.
Cowher.
Bill Cowher.
Yeah, I would have loved to see.
Remember a few years ago, teams were
Rivera.
like begging him. Carolina begged him, I think, before Ron Rivera too. So interesting.
Priest Holmes played from 1997 to 2000 Baltimore Ravens and 2001 to 2007 with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
Yeah, and those Ravens years sucked.
He had maybe one good year with the Ravens and 2 to 3 with the Chiefs.
Priest Holmes is
2.5.
not a Hall of Famer. Are you trying to make an argument for Priest Holmes being a Hall of Famer?
More so than Edgerrin James, absolutely.
Oh my fucking god!
Yep.
Go to fucking England too.
You look at this Priest Holmes.
You limey.
You forget how good Priest Holmes really was. And you look at Edgerrin James. You had Peyton Manning.
I gotta piss.
You had Marvin Harrison. You had Dallas Clark. You had all those guys around, and Edgerrin James to me was like the least dangerous one on that team.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, nobody agrees. If anybody didn't hear that, Caleb yelled from the back.
most games with 2 or more touchdowns in a season. That's tied with LaDainian Thompson. Priest Holmes. I'm telling you, a lot of people sleep on Priest Holmes. Priest Holmes is one of the best in that time period, hands down. One of the best.
I can't argue. At one point, he was the back that everybody wanted in their fantasy draft. I can't argue that. But at the same time, Edgerrin James was in that list longer.
How long did Edgerrin James play?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's look it up.
Hang on, Edgerrin James. And I'm not typing.
So Priest Holmes is 10
My battery died. No, it didn't.
Priest Holmes is 10 years. How much was Edgerrin James?
ProFootballStats.com. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years.
So he played one more year longer.
And
Are
he
we
played
still talking about Priest Holmes and Edgerrin James?
Absolutely, we are.
7 years with Indy, 3 years with Arizona, 1 year with Seattle. Wow, that's a lot of yards.
Oh my god! I can't believe that you guys are trying to compare Priest Holmes.
Well,
to
all right, how many yards did Priest Holmes have? Edgerrin's got 12,246.
That's pretty good.
That's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, I switched off it now. Thanks. I was on
In
Edgerrin
11
James.
seasons. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's combined.
Let me see if I
I
can.
love Dead Air. I mean, Dead Air is the shit.
Where is the show?
Did you guys see who else retired today from the NFL?
Somebody did. Shit.
Eric Weddle.
Really?
Eric Weddle retired
right.
today.
I meant to put that down.
I think Terrell Suggs isn't far behind either.
Yeah, we agreed with that. We can
You're
agree with
right.
that. He's done too. Yeah. Nope. We spoke on that earlier. Great to tag up. You're right. Very right about that.
Eric Weddle was a surprise.
Yeah. Not as much of a surprise as the fucking Chargers extending Anthony Lynn.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you going to extend Anthony Lynn? His body of work's been fucking unbelievably bad.
It's been all over the place where he'll have a bad first half of the season and do great the second half, or vice versa.
Yes, we'll extend Anthony Lynn because he has a fucking perfect quarterback situation in San Diego, and he's really had success. Oh, wait, no and no. Oh, we're going to draft Tua Tagovailoa, and we're going to do nothing still.
Tongue of the hole,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Edgerrin James made first team All Pro once and the Pro Bowl 4 times.
Priest made it 3 rushing yards, but he was also used a lot in the passing game.
I'm not even counting receiving yards. 3,364.
Yards per scrimmage, 2,000. That was a yet NFL record. Priest Holmes, 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time First All Team, Offensive Player of the Year, 2002, 2-time NFL rushing touchdown leader, 2002.
God, if anyone's listening out there, send this fucking guy a jersey and call it a day. Holy fuck. Priest Holmes sucks.
I'll take it over Edgerrin James any day.
No, get the fuck out of here. Come on.
Steve Atwater, I agree with. Everybody else. Edgerrin James, I don't know. I don't feel like
I was okay with it. Again, if it was his first ballot, I'd have a wicked problem with it. But it's not. I'm okay with it. He deserves it.
Who are some of the ones that got the shaft?
Nobody really this year on the shaft.
Phil's mom.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Dude, that one was an instinct. I really could have said anyone's mom, but it just...
Actually calling, no.
It's because I gave him shit for the donut. Earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Give you a shit donut.
Yeah, nobody.
No, we're on that
Shit.
fucking Biggest Loser at work, and he's on my team, and this asshole had a donut this morning.
I know. I've been doing good, though.
I think you guys win. If there's a contest for the biggest losers, you guys should.
Did you write him a fucking postcard to tell him he did it?
I started meth.
Dearest Jonathan,
Started meth, huh?
it woes me to tell you.
Let's
I've
end our last
consumed a
episode of the
donut.
year.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here, guys.
It's another 3 years down, boys. Congratulations.
Damn.
All right,
Kudos.
it's been my pleasure.
Good job.
All
guys.
right,
Thank you.
Pat on the back right here for me.
Yeah.
we finally get off without a hitch. Took 3 years, but
You've had a solid opening the last few
you
shows.
you forgot to run the commercial ads before the start of the show.
nobody was paying attention. Dick.
So we were talking earlier. We'll probably, unless there's a huge week in free agency, we'll probably see you guys just before the draft, and I'll talk to you guys about the draft while Silbrith and Chicken fuck each other. So.
That'd be great. Sounds like a good time to me. Sounds like it'll be packed.
Oh, leave on that note.
Wow.
Send it, Chick. Send
Oh
it.
my God, that was awesome.
See you guys later.
Good night.
All right, listen up, everybody. This is former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're listening to the D Line, only on Disruption Networks. That's the D. Do it now.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.